Those highlights courtesy of CBC. Now let's go to the ice surface for tonight's opening ceremonies.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Cup-87. As Labatt Breweries and Hockey Canada proudly present this 1987 Labatt Canada Cup. Bonsoir mesdames et messieurs, bienvenue au Cup-87 et c'est avec fierté que la brasserie Labatt et Hockey Canada vous présente la Coupe Canada Labatt 1987 et le match de ce soir entre l'équipe de la Finlande et l'équipe Canada. Tonight's game between the team from Finland and Team Canada. Here are the officials for tonight's game. Voici les officiels pour le match de ce soir. The referee, Mr. Vladimir Schubert from Czechoslovakia. Les juges de ligne, the linesman from Canada, Mr. John D'Amico. And from Sweden, Mr. Sven-Olaf Lundstrom. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the lineups for tonight's game. First, the lineup for Team Finland. Goaltender, number 19, le numéro 19, Jarmo Mulos. En défense, à la défense, number 3, numéro 3, Timo Blomqvist. Number 6, numéro 6, Jari Gronstrand. Number 7, numéro 7, Timo Utila. Number 23, numéro 23, Hannu Virta. Forwards, les avants, le numéro 12, number 12, Markku Kulinen. Number 14, numéro 14, Jukka Seppo. Number 15, numéro 15, Jari Järvi. Number 18, numéro 18, Raimo Elminen. Number 21, numéro 21, Christian Ruttu. Number 22, numéro 22, Jan Ojanen. Numéro 24, number 24, Mekko Makala. Number 25, numéro 25, Raimo Sumanen. Number 26, numéro 26, Petri Skriko. The head coach, l'instructeur-chef, Reino Korpi. The assistant coaches, les assistants instructeurs, Juhani Taminen. Et maintenant, l'alignement débutant pour le match de ce soir. And now the starting lineups for Team Finland. In goal, number 1, dans les buts, le numéro 1, Kari Takko. À la défense, en défense, number 8, numéro 8, Ville Siren. Number 29, numéro 29, Reijo Rutsalainen. At center, au centre, le numéro 20, number 20, Matti Agman. Left wing, à l'aile gauche, number 10, numéro 10, Essa Tikkanen. Right wing, à l'aile droite, number 17, numéro 17, Jari Kuri. And now, the lineup for Team Canada. Et maintenant, l'équipe Canada. Number 30, le numéro 30, Kelly Rudy. Number 4, numéro 4, Craig Artsberg. Number 7, numéro 7, Raymond Book. Number 8, numéro 8, Larry Murphy. Number 10, numéro 10, Dale Howard-Chuck. Number 11, numéro 11, Marc Messier. Number 12, numéro 12, Mike Gardner. Number 14, numéro 14, Kevin Deneen. Number 16, numéro 16, Michel Goulet. Number 21, numéro 21, Brent Sutter. Number 28, numéro 28, Doug Gilmore. Number 32, numéro 32, Claude Lemieux. Number 66, numéro 66, Mario Lemieux. Number 77, numéro 77, Paul Coffey. And now the starting lineup for Team Canada. L'alignement débutant d'équipe Canada. In goals, dans les filets, number 31, numéro 31, Grant Fuhr. En défense, à la défense, number 5, numéro 5, Normand Rochefort. Number 6, numéro 6, James Patrick. On right wing, à l'aile droite, le numéro 22, number 22, Rick Tuckett. On left wing, à l'aile gauche, number 26, numéro 26, Brian Propp. Au centre, at center, numéro 99, number 99, Wayne Gretzky. The head coach, l'entraîneur-chef, Mr. Mike Keenan. The assistant coaches, Monsieur Jean Perron, Mr. John Muckler, and Mr. Tom Watt. Ladies and gentlemen, as it is the custom in international hockey, the two captains, Jukka Seppo and Wayne Gretzky, will now exchange gifts on behalf of their team. Comme c'est la coutume, dans le hockey international, les deux capitaines vont maintenant s'échanger au nom des deux équipes des cadeaux traditionnels. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the members of the official party for the ceremonial face-off. Maintenant, mesdames et messieurs, permettez-nous de vous présenter les personnes qui feront la mise au jeu officielle du match. Canadian Tire is a proud supporter of sports for people of all ages and communities across Canada. From the Canadian Amateur Hockey Association to the Calgary 1988 Winter Olympic Games. Representing the grassroots of hockey, from York Mills Minor Hockey, Brett Hayhurst. Representing Canada's Olympic ski jump team, Ors Bulaw. Representing Canadian Tire is dealer Mr. Grant Ahers. Representing the sponsor of the Labatt Canada Cup is Mr. Jim Steele, Labatt's Ontario Breweries. Would the captain please come to center ice for the face-off? Ladies and gentlemen, would you please now rise for the singing of the national anthems of Finland and Canada. Mesdames et messieurs, voulez-vous s'il vous plaît vous lever pour les hymnes nationaux de la Finlande et du Canada. And these anthems will be sung by Mr. Michael Burgess.
kuin kotimaata pohjoinen makalisi sien. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all our sons command, car ton bras se porte le pays, il se porte la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits.
Welcome back to the Cup-87 in Hamilton, Ontario. Kerry Taco, the Minnesota North Star goaltender will be facing these Canadian shooters. We know they can shoot. What Mike Keenan wants to know if they can play better defense.
Well, they've made some changes. Ron Hextall, who was the backup goaltender in Game 1 of the series, is going to sit this one out. The backup goaltender will be Kelly Rudy behind Grant Fuhr. Doug Crossman not playing. Glenn Anderson still out with that knee injury. And James Patrick is in the lineup right now, facing Kerry Taco. Minnesota North Stars. He's played 2 years in the National Hockey League. A fine young goaltender. A draft choice back in 1984, but actually that was the second team that drafted him. The Quebec Nordiques had originally drafted him in 1981, but did not sign him.
No surprise that Grant Fuhr is right back in goal. He gave up 4 goals against Czechoslovakia, but he was superb.
He was the player of the game against Czechoslovakia. As a matter of fact, both goaltenders were the players of the game. The 2 scratches for Finland, Teppo Numminen and Yoko Navanmaa. And play is underway. Here's Dan Kelly.
That's Siren, Canada stealing it. Brian Kropp all alone in front of the net, but he had his shot blocked, and Finland break out into center ice. Jari Kurri lost it. Rochefort getting it into center ice, and here's Gretzky. Gretzky shooting wide by about 2 feet. Now at the point, James Patrick shot right on, kicked out by Taco. And Kurri, number 17, circles and fires it around on the boards for Tikkanen. Patrick pinching in, gives it to Gretzky. In front to Kropp, tipped that by Rochefort, saved by Taco, and then Gretzky is knocked out of the way by Ruotsalainen, and it's cleared down the ice by Finland with James Patrick back to get it, number 6. Patrick in his debut in the Canada Cup this year from the New York Rangers, a native of Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Well, James Patrick has played a lot of international hockey for a young player, 38 games. And when you talk about international hockey, and by the way, Tocchet and Kurri had it going there, and Tocchet threw a butt end at Kurri after the play was over. They had got into a little bit of a holding match down near the face-off circle deep in the Finnish zone, and that led to a little bit of a scrum over near the benches. Here is the chance in front of the net. A couple of good chances, as a matter of fact, as Tocchet, number 22, had it loose in front. Now, right there, Gretzky was about to be wrestled to the ice and forced to face off down in the Finnish zone.
Canada with a line of Doug Gilmour, Mike Gartner, and Michel Goulet. Bourque and Hartsburg on defense. Face-off, won by Canada. Here is Bourque shooting at a stick save by Taco. And Finland takes over with Jutila, clearing it into center ice. Now that's Gartner taking a whack at it, but Jutila knocks it back into the Canadian end of the rink, and Bourque is on the puck. Headmanning to Goulet. Goulet with Gilmour and Gartner. Gives it to Gilmour to Gartner. He's upended on the play, and we'll get a penalty right there. Petri Skriko hustling back, upending Gartner in front of the net. And Skriko from the Vancouver Canucks, of course, will go to the penalty box, the game's first penalty. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
Remember the miracle I told you about? Well, my wife and I, we go to Leon's, right? Take one step inside. She turns to me and says, "Nicky, I'm in heaven!" She had me picking up this, moving that. Finally, I said to her, "What am I, Superman? Tell him to deliver it." So listen, it's ending soon. Leon's no money miracle. It's an amazing deal. You pay no money down, no interest, make no payment till 1988. No kidding. Thank you.
Petri Skriko of the Vancouver Canucks is in for a hooking at the 1:11 mark of the period. Hauled down Mike Gartner, and Gartner is at great speed, forced a penalty right there, so Canada goes on the power play.
And here's Larry Murphy feeding it over to Gretzky, back to Murphy, shot right on. Taco kicks that out. Big rebound, and Coffey couldn't hold it in, but Mario Lemieux tried. And now Ruotsalainen, number 29, clears it ahead. Matty Hagman pokes it in, but this is Murphy back to get it. Murphy from the Washington Capitals, giving it to Paul Coffey, firing it for Gretzky. Off the mark, Taco out to play it. Into the corner, it's Messier trying to dig it loose. Into the other corner to Gretzky, centered. Pass behind Messier. Murphy now behind the net to Gretzky. Gretzky centers to Messier, tipped away. Gretzky again tried to center, but knocked away by Siren. Siren then whacks it over onto the other side, and Ruotsalainen breaks out. Number 29, Ruotsalainen checked, and here's Coffey. He lost it. And Matty Hagman now fires it in for Finland with Coffey back to get it. 52 seconds left in the penalty. Here's Coffey on the fly. Coffey trying to center, does. Ruutu knocked it away. Now Canada get possession again. Dale Howard-Chuck, number 10. Back on the point. Hartsburg shot blocked, and Ruutu, number 21, shoots it away for Finland. 32 seconds left in the penalty. Hartsburg being forechecked very hard by Makela. But now Canada comes out the other side, and here's Bork. Ray Bork from the Boston Bruins, firing it in for Canada. Howard-Chuck in to get it, centers. Makela fanned on it as he went to clear it, but then Finland get another chance, and here they come into center ice. Long shot right on by Järvi, and Fjord had to make the save. Now just 7 seconds left in Finland's penalty. Here's Howard-Chuck. Howard-Chuck with prop, shoots, he scores! Howard-Chuck! Canada takes the lead 1-0.
Howard-Chuck was let alone long enough to get onto his forehand as he was coming towards the net on his off wing. Now watch this as he seemed to back away from him, and then all of a sudden as the defenseman turned the wrong way, Howard-Chuck went to his forehand and put it in.
I think they were worrying too much about prop in the slot, Ron.
I think so too, and the defenseman there will get a third angle look at it, and the defenseman there, Grunstrand, just flat turned the wrong way, playing without a stick.
So 1-0 for Canada on a goal by Winnipeg Jet. Great player, Dale Howard-Chuck. Here's Canada dumping it in, racing in after it. Messier. Mark Messier, number 11. Messier back on the point to Rochefort. Shot right on, deflected, whacked at by Sutter, but then cleared away. And coming up with it is Hellman and couldn't get it out. Here's Brent Sutter. Sutter to Messier. Over on the other wing to Claude Lemieux. Behind the net to Messier, back to Lemieux. Now battling on the boards is Suominen for Finland, number 25. Held in by Sutter. Lemieux can't get to it. And Finland now carry out. Here's Timo Blomqvist feeding it ahead to Suominen. He's poke checked by Rochefort. Rochefort and Järvi into the corner. Comes loose to Lemieux. And Claude Lemieux flips to center. Ruotsalainen has it there. Ruotsalainen, long shot. Fjord sets it up for James Patrick. Patrick beats the first man, gives it to Rochefort. Now to Prop. Firing for Gretzky. Taco cuts it off and drops it back for number 14, Jukka Seppo. And then Finland comes to center. Kulinen Can't get anywhere, and Ruotsalainen has to go back in his own zone. Gretzky into forecheck. Over to Zeppo. Now Prop held it in. Loose puck taken by Gretzky. Has Prop open. Gives it to him. Taco, big save. Rebound to Murphy. That's blocked at the defense. Coffey center. Deflected. Loose puck still. They knock it in their own net. A Finnish defenseman knocked it in his own net, and it's quickly 2-0 Canada.
Well, there was enough action in that goal mouth area that there may have been some goaltender interference. Let's take a look at it now as the shot came in. It wound up going behind Taco. Now, he is leveled by Tocchet right there, and the puck just slipped into the net. Now, the question is, how did Tocchet hit the goaltender? Did he do it himself, or was he run in there? He was run in there. So the referee, Vladimir Schubert, seeing it all the way, sees it as a legitimate goal, and I think rightly so. Tough break for Finland, but they put it in their own net right there, and a big pile up in front of the net.
Rick Tocchet gets the goal. It's 2-0 Canada. Now Gilmore couldn't get anywhere, and Matty Hagman, the veteran from Finland, fires it in. Back is Fjord flipping on the boards. Goulet dropping it back for Ray Bourque. Now over to Mike Gartner. Gartner losing it, gets it back again. And Gartner now tries to carry up, gives it to Goulet. Berta at center ice knocked it down, and then Gartner knocked him for a loop. Hagman to Curry. Back to Matty Hagman. Trying to center one, does. Nobody there, and here's Gartner into center ice to Goulet, but the pass was tipped. Goulet catches up with it, fires it in, and going back to get it is Jutila, number 7. He's flattened on a check. Now Goulet trying to center it to Gartner, who had made the hit on the Finnish player. They collide again. Now Gilmore over to Goulet. Centering one. Nobody in the slot. Here's Rochefort at the point. Stick save by Taco. And in Finland, under pressure, Jutila cleared it into center ice. Claude Lemieux dropping it back, and here is Patrick to Gilmore. Doug Gilmore centering one, but Ronstrand intercepts and clears it away for Finland. Going back is Patrick. 2-0 Canada. We have not played through 7 minutes of this game yet. Now Mikko Makala dropping it back at his defense, and here's Timo Blomqvist flipping it in for Finland. Patrick back on the puck. Intercepting it there is Ruutu. Got it behind the net, but big Mario Lemieux takes over for Canada, and away they come. Claude Lemieux trying to set up Howard Chuck, but it was tipped away. And Blomqvist has it for Finland. Shoots it to center, and that's called back on a 2-line offside. 2-0 in favor of Canada. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
When you look around, most every place you go, east and west, there's a taste you'll know, and so more and more, each and every day, 'cause good taste draws a crowd. You'll hear people say, my life is blue, it's the true blue taste. Blue light's the one, blue light's the one, look around, blue light's the one.
There's Rick Tocchet, who got Canada's second goal from Gretzky and Coffey at 4:50 here in the first period. The earlier goal, Howard Chuck unassisted at 3:12. It was not a power.
Put her down.
Well, that's Mikko Makala of the New York Islanders. Now, let's take a look. The right of our picture there, Makala went down. I think that then proceeded to get some words directed in the area of Vladimir Schubert, the Czechoslovak referee, who in turn reacted by giving Makala a 10-minute misconduct.
So no man advantage for Canada, but Finland will be minus Makala for 10 minutes. Here's Prop giving it to Gretzky. That's intercepted. And Helminen carries out for Finland, number 18. Raimo Helminen, stick handling right in. And then he was checked at the last second and shot wide. Back of the goal is Suominen, number 25. Now he gets help on the play from Järvi, but he couldn't hold it in. And Canada's Tocchet gives it to Prop, flipping it in for Gretzky. Gretzky beaten to the puck this time by Helminen, who tried to clear it out. Held in by Team Canada at the point was Murphy behind the net. Brian Prop gives it to Gretzky. Gretzky shot tipped at by Tocchet, and then it went wide. Now Prop on the boards gets squeezed in there by Siren. Copy at the point holding it in to Gretzky. Centered, and two Finnish players bump into each other but clear it. Gretzky takes over and drops it back to his own line. Here's Murphy to copy, and he just flips it in with number 8, Siren. Back after it. Finland behind early in this game, and now Suominen almost loses it. Gilmore fanned on it, and then it's cleared out of there by Finland with Grant Pure out to play it back up into the neutral ice area. Kulinen had it for a moment. Now he's checked, and Copy flipped it back into center ice. Kulinen battling on the boards. It's cleared away by Copy, and back comes Jutila, number 7. Drop pass over, now centered, and a stick save on Kulinen by Grant Pure from the edge of the crease. That's Patrick tying up a Finnish player back of the net. They continue to battle, and Paul Copy takes over control of the puck. His pass tipped into center ice by Gartner. Now Gartner getting the puck again. Ahead to Michel Goulet. Goulet back to Gartner. Gartner moves in. Tried to center. Diving save on the play made by Blomqvist. Now it is centered. Comes to the point, and play had been called. Shot was blasted wide by Hartsburg, and we had it offside on the play. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
Discover a new species. 1988 Chevrolet Beretta for the way you drive today.
Today's Chevrolet.
Beretta.
Going your way.
Play just underway. Canada leading 2-0 here midway through the first period. Canada's Howard Truck trying to center, but picking it off is Esa Tikkanen, number 10. Tikkanen out there on the line with Hagman and Jari Kurri. They clear it in, and back after it is Bork for Canada. Off the boards to Mario Lemieux. Missed him. Blomqvist tussling back, and now Taco shoots it around on the boards. Claude Lemieux centers to Mario Lemieux. That's picked off, and here's Matty Hagman. Into center ice to Blomqvist. Then cleared in. Tikkanen couldn't get it, and Canada shoot it back into center ice. Finland behind 2-0. They've had trouble scoring goals. Had only one goal in their 4-1 loss to the United States, and they're behind here early. Here's Messier to Mario Lemieux. He's checked by Skriko. Mario breaks loose, however. Lemieux centers. Here's Denis, now centered again, but cleared by Ruotsalainen, and Murphy has to hustle back for Canada. Over to Paul Copy, number 77. Copy up the middle to Sutter. Messier had jumped in ahead of the play offside, however, at Team Finland's blue line.
Well, there's Mark Messier. Messier, of course, of the Edmonton Oilers, who's seen a variety of roles from center ice to the wing position as this tournament is slowly unfolding. Had a terrific year last year, 107 points total. Always wonder how a player as great as he has turned out to be could go 48th overall in the NHL draft. In fact, this was the way it went for Edmonton. They were drafting players and doing very, very well in that area. He's had now 3 times a 100-point season in his first All-Star twice.
Finland, Siren trying to bank it off the boards down the ice. He does, and Pure comes out and fires it up to Brent Sutter. And now back behind the play, we're going to get some kind of a penalty called here.
Don't know who it's on, but it's a holding penalty. Schubert signaled what it was. Now he's changed that to a hooking penalty as he came to the bench, and Rushmore is in the penalty box on the hooking.
So Finland will have a power play opportunity. This program is protected by copyright. Any use of this telecast without permission is prohibited.
A chance to take a look at the penalty. Rushford, 11:03 in for hooking. First power play advantage for Finland as he hauled his man down going for the net. Team Canada does not look sharp. They're ahead 2-0, but the Finns, who got off to a terribly shaky start, first 5 minutes were played in their end, are beginning to tilt the ice a little bit the other way now. Now they get the power play.
And their big line of Hagman, Curry, and Tikkanen out there. Jutila is 1 point man, and the other is Ruotsalainen. Puck is cleared away by Brent Sutter. Sutter out to kill off the penalty with Messier. Murphy is back on defense with Bork. Finland with a chance here on the power play. They have not shown very much offense. Ruotsalainen to Jutila. Now to Hagman. Now to Curry. And Harry Curry gets it into the zone. Murphy there to clear it. Centered again, and Ray Bork fires it up, and it goes right into the Team Canada bench. As everybody ducking, including assistant coach Jean Perron of the Montreal Canadiens.
Raymond Bork, the defending Norris Trophy winner. He won it last year, of course. Had a great year, 95 points this past season. He is an anchor back there on the defense. They talk about the defense as being a weak part of the Team Canada lineup. A question mark. I don't consider it weak, certainly, with the type of player they've got, but they may not have the balance that many people think they should have. They are going to have to adjust quite a bit to maintain the kind of balance that they're going to need. And that means putting offensive players coming back to help out defensive players.
A very offensive defense for Team Canada in the '87 Canada Cup.
Exactly.
That puck was tipped up over the boards at Team Canada's bench. 1:15 left in the penalty to Rochefort as you see Gardner going to the bench.
Mike Gardner's got so much experience in Canada Cup play. He was in the camp in 1981. He and Steve Shutt were the final cuts in the 1981 camp. And then he played the '84 Cup, and this one is second Canada Cup now.
Here's Bork with Canada still shorthanded, trying to clear it out of there. Held in by Finland, centered, and Skriko was open but deflected it wide. And then Brent Sutter fires it by the point man Siren into center ice. Here's Bork with Messier. Messier couldn't get it as the pass was broken up by number 23, Hanno Berta, the ex-Buffalo Sabre. Here's Skriko, who had the chance earlier. 45 seconds left in Canada's penalty. Skriko taken out by Bork, and Murphy fires it down the ice. Berta, number 23 for Finland. Leaving it there and picking it up on the fly is Granstrand. And as he carried in, actually it was Siren, and the play went offside at Canada's blue line with 29 seconds left in Rochefort's penalty.
Well, Petri Skriko, the Vancouver Canucks, just had a great chance in front. There's Billy Siren. He started out his career in the NHL with Hartford, went over to the Pittsburgh Penguins in a deal for Pat Boutet, a very serviceable forward who helped the Hartford Whalers over a short haul, but they think that Siren is going to be a very valuable member of the Penguins in year.
Was with Edmonton last year, cleared it to center, and now we're going to get a charging penalty called on Team Canada here, and it's going to be against Rick Tocchet, the Philadelphia Flyers aggressive forward.
Well, there's no doubt of Tockett's involvement in this game. He scored his second goal of the tournament. And now he's off on a charging penalty. Here it comes, and I don't think there's much doubt about that. Boarding, charging, whatever you wish. He has gone for the 2.
13 minutes.
So Finland now with back-to-back power plays. They really had only one good scoring chance during their previous manpower advantage. But now they'll go on the manpower advantage again because of the penalty to Rick Tocchet. Canada work it to center ice to Dale Howardchuk. Steps around one man. Fires one. That's up high off the glass. Digging in is Sutter. Sutter tied up in the play, and now breaking out is Hagman. Moving it to Ruotsalainen. Now back for Matty Hagman. Hagman leaving it for Tikkanen, but Brent Sutter cleared it away. And Ruotsalainen is there. Passing it off for Jutila, number 7. Now to Curry, to Ruotsalainen. Play would have been offside, so they just left it there, and Howardchuk clears it away. Not much pressure from Finland with the man advantage run.
They've had a terrible offense all the way really from the time they left Finland. They've only scored 3 goals in their last 4 games, including, of course, just the one in the opening game of the tournament.
Here's Jutila with a shot. That goes off a stick up into the crowd. Let's go quickly here to Brad Park.
Dan, so far in the first period, the Canadians have come out very strong, as I said they were. They've taken the body to the Finns. The Finns have not generated any offense whatsoever. And to top it off, the Finnish defensemen have not used any muscle to control the Canadian forwards.
I think Brad was trying to tell us that Finland hasn't done much.
They haven't done an awful lot, but as I say, Canada is not doing that much either right now. And you can develop a little bit of concern when you see a team start to sit back on a lead. And this team, don't forget, Finland has got a lot of players that know how to play this game.
Here's one of them here, Christian Ruutu shooting, and he fired it wide. Picked up now by Dineen, and Kevin Dineen fired it into center ice. 51 seconds left in Canada's penalty. Moving in is Ruutu. Ruutu trying to center it for Järvi. Puck knocked away. Hartsburg couldn't get it out of the zone, however. Now Hartsburg knocked it back of the net, but Ruutu is there to intercept. Christian Ruutu battling with Hartsburg. Hartsburg knocks it into the other corner. Järvi, number 15, drops it back. Messier picking it up. And Mark Messier, with that great strength of his, got it to the line, but not out. Bertha shoots. Bure the save, and the rebound taken by Bork. And he feeds it to Messier, who has Dineen with him. 2-on-2 break. Messier trying to feed Dineen back to Messier, but Järvi intercepts number 15. 7 seconds left in the Canadian penalty to Tocchet. In center ice is Helmanen firing it in. Murphy back to get it. Shot it on the boards to Prop. Held in, and a drive from the point by Granstrand. Turned aside by Pure. Canada back at full strength. Here's Prop to Tocchet, who is just out of the penalty box. And the play is offside at Team Finland's blue line. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
McDonald's introduces omelets you can hold in your hand.
Come on.
New Omelet McMuffins.
Hold on to a great new taste. An omelet you can hold in your hand.
You're kidding, a what?
That's right, ham and cheese or bacon and cheese.
Hang on to the great new taste.
Omelet McMuffins.
Really?
Yeah, ham or bacon with melting processed cheese on a buttered toasted English muffin.
An omelet you can hold in your hand.
You got it.
It's a good time for the great taste of McDonald's.
New Omelet McMuffins.
Wayne Gretzky back in the part of the country he hails from, nearby Brantford, Ontario. Sure he has a lot of family here tonight.
Like to see his ticket list, huh?
Here's a lead pass to Suominen, broken up by Murphy. Murphy then firing it out, and here's Mario Lemieux, but they whistle it down because of a hand pass.
Well, there's the head coach of the Finnish national team. Took over the team 2 years ago after coaching the Finnish champions Tampere, Finland. Rauno Korpi is his name. Last year they won the league championship, the best of 7 final, 4 games to 1 against the regular season champions there. He's a great Fred Shiro fan, Dan. Fred Shiro, who's been working as a broadcaster with the New Jersey Devils in recent years, has gone to Holland to become a head coach over there with Tilburg.
Here's Michel Goulet breaking it on left wing, shoots, and he's fired wide. Taco may have had a piece of it. Blomqvist trying to clear it, can't. Center, drive by Patrick. Another shot by Patrick. Taco a save, and then it's cleared out by Finland, and Suominen comes to center ice. Suominen trying to work around Rochefort, and then did center it, but Pure is there to clear it to Claude Lemieux. Lemieux gets upended. Here's Gary Curry, centered, deflected, and Gretzky, Propp, and Tocchet the forward line. Again for Canada, and Canada controlling. The face-off with Coffey giving it to Larry Murphy. Murphy trying to fire it in. Udala, number 7, back after it. Udala handing it to Berta. Berta into center ice to Ojanen. Now over onto the other wing, but a pile-up there as Kulinen falls along with one of the Team Canada players, and we get a stoppage and a face-off coming up in Team Canada zone. 1:56 left in the first period.
Well, I think that is Jari Grundstrand. No, it isn't. It's Suminen, I think, down on the bench. But Grundstrand took a shot in the face about 5 minutes ago, and it looked like he was really seriously hurt, but he seems to be back in the action. Raimo Suminen, of course, set the Finnish goal-scoring record 1982-83 season with 45 goals. Drafted by Edmonton, traded to Vancouver for M.Lemьe in this last season. Another one of those players. You just can't understand these Finnish teams, Dan. They have so many great players, great individuals, but they make bad teams for some reason.
Here's a flip pass down into Finland's end of the rink. Grundstrand being forechecked by Doug Gilmour. Gilmour getting some help now back of the net as they try and work it in front, but it's cleared away by Finland. Now Gartner back of the goal, and it's cleared by Blomqvist over to number 6, Grundstrand, and they work it into center ice. Hagman had it. Hagman out there on the big line with Curry and Tikkanen for Finland. Here's a lead pass to Tikkanen, and his NHL teammate Grant Fuhr came out and knocked it away into center ice. Now Ruotsalainen into center ice. Hagman to Tikkanen, tipped in. And going back to get it, Craig Hartsburg with 1 minute left in the first period. 2-0 Canada. Now Mikko Makela couldn't hold it in, and Dineen breaks out for Canada. To Brent Sutter. Sutter is checked on a fine play defensively by Grundstrand. And now back comes Petri Skriko. Skriko, number 26, taken out by Dineen. And Canada come up with the puck, and Rochefort feeding it up the middle for Sutter to Messier. Back to Sutter. Sutter taken out by Ruotsalainen, and Skriko has it for Finland. Over now to number 21, Ruutu. Christian Ruutu shot. Fuhr knocks it away. Patrick back of the net, trying to freeze it there. Now knocks it over along the boards to Messier with 17 seconds left in the period. Mark Messier feeding one to Sutter, back to Messier, but Ruutu was back checking and
Certainly a very different start for Team Canada tonight, as certainly compared to the last time out against Czechoslovakia. Ray Bourque joins us now. Boston Bruins, Norris Trophy winner, top defenseman in the NHL last year. No goals against in the first period. That must make you as a defenseman feel good. But tell us about the different start tonight. Why was it different?
Well, we were a little edgy the other night. We didn't get off to the start that we thought we would have. It was our first game, and we're maybe a little nervous. But as a unit, I think we're working a lot better out there tonight, and I think that's the difference. We're not giving them too many 3-on-2s or 2-on-1s. In all those European teams, whenever you give them those opportunities, they usually make the best of it.
Talking to Coach Mike Keenan, he knows that the defense in this team has taken some flack, but he says it's not the defensemen. It wasn't their problem in the first game. He said the forwards weren't thinking enough defense. Are they improving? Are they coming back for you tonight?
Well, everybody's working as a unit. Like I said, you know, the other night we were caught out of position a little bit, and you know, defense aren't only the two defensemen out there. You really got to work as a unit because you're against 5 men, and you know, we want to go to the offense as a 5-man unit, and we want to work the same way defensively. And whenever we do that, and we do that well, we're going to be tough to beat because that's the way you're supposed to play.
Traditionally, these Canadian All-Star aggregations get better and better as the tournament goes on. Have you got the feeling now that this team is almost in place, or do you still feel that maybe there's a little more composure, there's a little more familiarity yet to come?
Well, I think we're going to get better as the tournament goes on. You know, we only made the final cuts a few days ago, and now we've started the games, and most of the combinations are the ones that we're going to play with for the rest of the tournament, I think. So I think as long as the tournament goes on, I think we'll get better, and hopefully we'll peak just at the right time.
Are we going to see very much physical play in this tournament? There was almost none in the Czech game. Tonight, maybe in the first 5 minutes, there were several checks that were finished. There was a little bit of physical play, but then it seemed to taper off again.
Well, I think you got to finish your checks, but you can't go running after these guys because they're just too good with the puck. And you know, if you get running around, that's when you're going to get caught out of position. And we're telling ourselves whenever there's a check available, really take out the man hard if you can. If not, just try to rub it out and try to stay with your man. But you got to stay out of the penalty box as well. So you know, against these teams. You know, it's really tough to kill off those penalties.
It makes a difference too, doesn't it, the fact that all these teams, the European teams especially, are so quick. Well, you can't afford to get one stride out of position.
No, you can't, because that's all you need, and that's all they need to make a good play or whatever, because you're playing against the best in the world here, and you got to cut down on as many mistakes as you can, because if you're doing a lot of them out there, you're not going to win any games.
What difference does it make for the Canadian team playing against teams composed of a lot of players of NHL background? So you've played against half the players out there tonight. You don't know the Czechs and you don't know the Soviets. When you have the Hamilton, Ontario, we have played 20 minutes, Canada and Finland. Both these teams, of course, very interested in what happened last night in Calgary when the Swedes and the Soviets hooked up. The USSR, of course, one of the pre-tournament co-favorites. 8 goals scored in that one, Brad Park. 5 by the Swedes as they upset the pre-tourney favorites. Your thoughts about that game?
Well, they did. That was a big upset for the Soviet Union. The Swedes played very well. There's been a lot of talk the last couple of days about how well or how badly that the Canadian defense played. Well, if you wanted to see mistakes, and this is tough for me as a defenseman, those defensemen last night on both teams were out to lunch and carrying picnic baskets. We're going to have a look at those highlights and the goals right now. We're going to look at the first goal as Bykov is carrying the puck towards the Swedes. Now watch on the left hand of your screen here. Watch Peter Anderson turns his back to Vyacheslav Kamensky, and he just tips it by the goaltender. That is a big error by the defenseman. On the second highlight, we're going to get another error. This is a 4-on-4. Brent Gustafson wins the draw to Mats Naslund. Naslin's on your right. It comes back to Michael Talbot. They play a little give and go. Now watch the defenseman that goes back to the front of the net, Alexei Gusov. Now watch Gustafson doesn't get to the stick in time. A 4-on-4, that's his man, and he should have had him. Again, there it is. Fetisov, the best player in the Soviet Union, trying to block a shot, and the Swedes go up again. Now here's just a blast from the point. There's nothing you can do. It's a power play. It goes over, comes back to the defenseman, and Carlson just winds up and blows it by Belashevin. Not much the defenseman can do on that because they're shorthanded. But the Soviets come back. It's 3-1. And Krutov steals the puck here from Lars Carlson, and he just outlegs the Soviet defenders and scores a shorthanded goal to make it 3-2. Watch him hold the puck. A beautiful play by Krutov, and that's why he's one of the best on their team. Right here, we get back into it. The Soviets picking up the puck. We've got Andrei Kumatov picking up the puck. Now watch, they're going to crisscross. Watch Anderson to your left come across. Not only does he get him, but he knocks it back to Kumatov, who just sticks it upstairs. Lindmark did not have a chance on that. That made the big difference in the game. It was 3-3, but Carlson, who had made a mistake earlier, Watch the puck go around the net by the goaltender, comes out to the blue line, and a Soviet turnover just inside the blue line. Carlson walks in. Look out, Bella shaking. He's going by up for your glove. That was the winning goal. And then just to add misery to the Soviet Union, who really tried to get back in the game. Here's Sundstrom stealing the puck in the last minute to put the game away. Now watch how he holds it. Belashakin goes down. He sticks it upstairs.
There were a lot of people, Brad, who thought maybe the Swedes weren't quite as good as their World Championship ranking because they only got into the finals because of a court case, and they lost 3 games while the Soviets went undefeated. All that happened in Vienna. The Swedes come here, they're not getting maybe the respect a lot of people thought they deserved. After watching them play and beat the Soviets, is this a team that everybody should be afraid of?
I think all the teams are going to have to be very careful. The one thing I saw in the game last night was the Swedes out-muscled the Russians. They had more hits, knocked them off the puck a lot more. The other thing that they did, knowing the puck control the Soviets have, is they blocked up center ice. They did not move on the Russian puck carrier, especially their defensemen, until the defensemen got about 10 feet from their blue line, and then they bogged them up because the Russians couldn't make a long-distance pass without it being offside. So they really jammed up center ice.
We've seen the Soviets play quite a bit over the past year. Did they play poorly, or did the Swedes take the game to them, in your estimation?
I think the Swedes capitalized on their chances. The Soviets played poorly and let the Swedes off to a big lead. And once they had that lead, their confidence was there. The Russians did try to come back, and the one thing that the Russians...
Canada got off to a quick start tonight, scoring 2 goals in the first 4 minutes and 50 seconds of play, and it is 2-0 as they lead the Finns here at Cops Coliseum. Welcome back to our live coverage of Canada Cup 87. Brad Park, our analyst. We've looked at the Swedes and the Soviets. Now let's talk about tonight's hockey game. A quick start for Canada. How did that happen?
I think the Canadians went right out and took it to them in the first 5 minutes. They've got 2 goals. And they did a little bit physically, but from there, they capitalized on some advantages. And the first highlight we're going to look at is the goal by Dale Hawerchuk. And the whole key to this goal is that the Finnish defenseman does not have a stick. And Dale Hawerchuk just turns him inside out, and he does it so quickly, it's before they can react. And we're going to look at Gronstad. He's the defenseman number 6. Here comes Hawerchuk. Gron says he got him on his backhand, let him keep going, but he comes back, tackle stays back in the net, and Dale Hawerchuk just blows a quick wrist shot, low to the stick side. The second goal that Canada got was a lot of effort by Brian Propp, Wayne Gretzky, and Rick Tocchet. Tocchet ends up getting credit for the goal. Here comes Gretzky setting up Propp. Look at this, great chance, good save by Tocchet, just stood his ground. But the puck comes back out to Paul Coffey out the blue line. Now he tries to make a little wrist pass in to Propp. Propp deflects it. Now watch, here's the key. This goal is going to get changed. It goes by Rick Tocchet, and the Finn forward comes in and digs it out and puts it in his own net. Talk about the breaks, those are it. The Finns have had trouble on the power play. They've had trouble getting into the other team's zone. Here's Rotzeland. Now this is what I mean. Now Rotzeland makes a nice little move in the corner. One Canadian defender swings by him. The other one commits himself. Now he moves the puck up to Utila. Now this is a 4-on-3 Sioux center ice. Watch number 17 stop skating. They lose the 4-on-3 Sioux center ice, or through center ice, and they end up with a turnover. And it goes right out and they lose a good chance. But they did do a couple of good things when they had the power play. When they were on the power play.
21-12 in the first period.
Well, there's Grant Fuhr, who has not given up a goal in this hockey game. I mean, Kari Taco at the other end, of course, has been very, very busy. He, of course, down 2-0. One of the fine young goaltenders from Finland, and, of course, the Minnesota North Stars. You know, we talk about hockey being our game. Hockey is recorded in Finland as being played as early as 1899 on Helsinki Harbor, and the Finnish Ice Hockey Federation was formed in 1929. They have had a proud history in their own country. As a matter of fact, Finnish hockey went over 1 million fans this year in their 10-team league for the first time. They play in some very small centers in that country. It's not a highly populated country. And an average of 4,500 a game they consider is very, very good. Well, look at, of course, the final words of encouragement. In the foreground there is Rauno Korpi, the coach of Finland's national team. Team doctor right behind him there.
They made a scoring change in Canada's first goal. Originally, it was announced as unassisted. Howard Chuck's goal. Now Prop and Deneen are given assists on Canada's first goal.
Well, on the first goal, yes, all right. The second goal, they took the assist away, and the reason for that, of course, is it was put into the net by a Finnish player, and therefore you just don't give assists on something like that, so they gave it to the closest guy, or the guy who touched the puck last for Canada, and that was Tocchet. So the scoring changes are many so far in this game.
2-0, Canada leading. Here we go at the second period, and immediately Tocchet clears it in. Gretzky tried to hold it into the blue line, but couldn't, and Hagman beats Jari Kurri. Kurri couldn't get around the defense. Rochefort clearing it out, and here's Siren. Over to Ruotsalainen, who flips a high one in. Taco back to get it, and controlling is James Patrick. To Gretzky, held in by Siren. Shot blocked by Rochefort. Now Tikkanen trying to center it. That's Hagman, but checked by Tocchet. Tocchet hustling after a loose puck. Trying to knock it over for Prop, but it's broken up, and Hagman feeds Tikkanen. Puck hop over his stick. Norman Rochefort from the Quebec Nordiques back to Gretzky, ahead to Tocchet. Breaking in is Rick Tocchet. Puck rolled off the stick, and Taco knocked it away. Bork holding it in to Gretzky. Gretzky wheels in front. Backhander is blocked, and Mikko Makala, number 24, speeds back for Finland. Leaving it for Berta. In front to Tikkanen. Back in front. Makala shoots one, and Fuhr flat on the ice robs Mikko Makala of the New York Islanders.
I think that Makala was just a little unlucky with a rolling puck as the puck bounced in front of the net. Makala had a couple of good chances at it. There, the puck comes in front. Now watch this. It's bouncing around. It bounces out again, and he, well, rolled off the end of his stick right into Fuhr. All he had to do was play lipsies a little bit, and he had himself a goal. Finland's coming on in this game, Dan. I'm not really pleased with the way Canada has been playing since about the 5-minute mark of the first period.
Doug Gilmour wins a face-off for Canada. Ray Bourque trying to get it out of there. Got it into center ice. It is Gilmour on a forward line with Claude Lemieux and Mike Gartner. Gartner dropping it back and gets a return pass from Hartsburg, but he's checked by Ruutu, and it's dumped back in with Ray Bourque back for Canada. Giving it to Hartsburg. Now to Gilmour. Number 28, Doug Gilmour from the St. Louis Blues to Gartner with a booming shot. That's up high. Now Bourque at the point. His shot blocked, and it's cleared out of there by Team Finland with Hartsburg back to get it. Hartsburg from the Minnesota North Stars. Firing one up the middle, tipped by Gilmour, knocked away by Blomqvist. And back comes Järvi, number 15. Järvi poke-checked on the play nicely by Bourque. And Sutter drops it back, and Ray Bourque controls. To Messier to Sutter. Now to Messier. Messier trying to center. Goulet had it hop over his stick. And Suominen then battles with Goulet. Goulet won the battle and held it in. But Suominen comes back and controls it. And then it's fired into center ice by Ronstrand. Canada dumping it right back in. Suominen dropping it to Blomqvist. Blomqvist into center ice. Picked up by Järvi, leaving it for Suominen. Checked from behind by Sutter. And then Sutter there to clear it back out for Canada. This is Lundstrom, number 6. Tried to flip it out. Murphy held it into Dineen. He shoots. He scores! Kevin Dineen, and it's 3-0 Canada.
That was a killer and a bad play right here. A complete giveaway by Lundstrom around the boards, and it was picked off at the point. Moving in from the blue line is Larry Murphy, and that's Dineen putting it in from a bad angle on the short side. Now, the Finns had been coming on. They've been looking much better, certainly in this period. A much crisper form of hockey being played, but then they have a mistake like that, and it killed them. 3-0 Canada. Dineen gets the goal, his first of the tournament.
Murphy set him up. Dineen is out on right wing with Mario Lemieux and Howard Chuck. Passes tipped into center ice, picked up by Lemieux. Lemieux, number 66, trying to center it, but Ruotsalainen is there to intercept. He feeds it over on right wing for Seppo, number 14. Rochefort takes him out, and here's Dineen, loses it. Howard Chuck there to cover up, and back comes Lemieux. Mario Lemieux trying to work around Blomqvist, now centering it. Dineen had it for a moment, tries to give it to Howard Chuck, but now number 22, Ojanen, breaks out and fires it into Canada's zone. Rochefort, number 5, back to pick it up. Canada breaking out of there as Murphy flips it to center. Now Tikkanen, a long bouncer, handled by Fuhr. And Rochefort has it again to Murphy. Larry Murphy, lead pass. Lemieux lets it go and goes to the bench on a line change. And that's going to be icing against Canada. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
Your attention, please, on Team
I've been all the way to the west, babe, all the way to the east, and I stand just as tall in the saddle as I do in the city streets. I know that's the game and how to play, and I know when to make a stand, and I put more in like the king of bills. I'm a genuine bud man. Bud, 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 I'm a bud man.
The official scoring on Team Canada's third goal, Dineen, his first of the tournament from Murphy at 2:49. Take a look at it again. Again, Lundstrom just blindly around the boards, and that's easily picked off by Murphy at the point. Nice slip pass into Dineen, who picked the short side on Kari Taco, who had not gotten over to cover the post quickly enough. And it's 3-0.
Here's Ruutu on a face-off, winning a draw, but Canada's there to clear it back into center ice. Jutila firing it over, and then it's just shot up the ice by Finland. Murphy going back to get it. Larry Murphy, number 8. Into center ice to prop to Gretzky. Gretzky trying to drop it off, and comes off a skate. Coffey held it in, but now Finland break out of there, and here's Esa Tikkanen. Tikkanen moving in, gives it to Jutila, back to Tikkanen. He's checked, and it's Tocchet on a 3-on-2, but his pass to Gretzky picked off by Curry. Curry to Matty Hagman. Hagman, centered, prop, back-checking, breaks it up, and cleared it into center ice. Here's Berta, number 23. Into Hagman. Hagman to Jutila. Jutila dropping it back. Tikkanen shot off Murphy and into the corner. Now Jutila centered it right through the crease. Knocked away by Fuhr, and here's Prop to Gretzky. With Tocchet, one man back, leaves for Prop. Taco the save, Gretzky the rebound. Winning another draw from Ruutu, and now Blomqvist gets it. And Finland start out of their own zone. Makela tied up by Claude Lemieux from behind. Blomqvist trying to carry it in. Just flips it in, and Bork goes back for Canada. Ray Bork off the boards. Now to Gartner. Gartner to K.Lemьe. Intercepted by Blomqvist and cleared up. Hartsburg has it, and then over on this side, tangle. And somebody, I believe, Doug Gilmore of Canada will get a penalty.
He dumped Ruutu right in the center right zone, and he knew it. He's headed straight for the penalty box. Schubert calling it. Here it is, right in the center right zone. As he just kept a little jab in there, I guess, and Schubert spotted that. Might have got a little extra effort put in by Ruutu to get the attention of Schubert. That coming at the 5:37 mark.
Gilmore, one of the surprise players to make Team Canada this year, according to some of the experts, but Coach Mike Keenan says he didn't surprise me.
Well, not with over 100 points last year. I think he was 5th in the league in scoring. You saw him a lot last year, Dan, and I don't think he probably surprised you too much, too. And one thing, I talked to Kelly Rudy about him, who has seen him in practice all the way through, and he says the one thing you notice about him is how smart he is and how he can anticipate a play and make just the right play at the right time.
Keenan says he reads well, both offensively and defensively, and that's his key. Here's Jutila on the Team Finland power play. They're behind 3-0. Jutila, number 7. Headmanning it comes to Tikkanen.
5-minute mark of the first period have come from Finland, but they can't put it in the net. Ruotsalainen with that good shot. He's always had it. They just gave him, as a matter of fact, a Swedish contract for 2 million kroner over 2 years. He's going. To Sweden next year. There's Mike Keenan. I think he's wondering whether his team has just gone flat on him. They're leading 3-0, and it may be enough against this Finnish team. They just don't seem to be able to put it in the net.
Finland still in a power play. Siren at the point, passing it in on the wing to Ruutu. Back to Siren. Fjord knocked that one down. Now Ruutu firing it around on the boards, and Makala has it. Mikko Makala to Ruutu. Ruutu into Makala, trying to center, comes to the point. Berta moving in, tied up by Messier. In behind the net, Ruutu, number 21, misses a check, carries out, shoots, he scores! Christian Ruutu with a great move from behind the net. And Finland cashes in on the power play.
That looked a little bit like a Wayne Gretzky goal as he came out from behind the net and faded a little bit, just enough to get himself, put some distance between himself and the defense. Ruutu working out, and now nobody is tackling him. So he just fires it. And into the net it goes, and it's 3-1. Another look at it from behind the net. Watch him now, he just fades out. Hartsburg's trying to pick up somebody else, and a clean shot just inside the far post. So Christian Ruutu has put Finland on the board. Ruutu, a Buffalo draft choice, and actually played for Belmont Hill High School in Boston at one time.
He's just scored Finland's first power play goal of this Canada Cup. Now a loose puck back of Finland's goal, and it's taken over by Blomqvist. Into center ice to Helminen, number 18. Raimo Helminen trying to go around Coffey, who rides him out. Now it's centered and intercepted by Canada. And Brian Propp comes back trying to feed Gretzky. He's upended, and Finland will get a penalty here. I believe Järvi will go to the penalty box for tripping Wayne Gretzky. That is the call.
Eero Järvi, man who tripped the great one. He's one of those hard-working players. This kid's a kind of a pepper pot type of player, and it's his hard work and hustle that does things. He was just doing a back-checking job there a little too enthusiastically, one would suspect. And down goes Gretzky, and in goes Geography with the 2 minutes. That was a power play goal. Ruutu from Virta and Makala. And it's finally put, first of all, Finland on the board, but secondly, it's their first power play goal in 20 attempts over the last couple of games. Here it is again. And again, you see that little fade out to chase him was Bork. And I think he probably presented the screen that allowed that puck to get past Grant Fuhr.
Here's Canada's power play. Messier, Gretzky, and Lemieux up front. Hartsburg and Bork the point, or Hartsburg and Copy the point men. Messier knocking it back of the net. Taco out to clear it. And Matty Hagman clears one. Gretzky intercepts. Gretzky centered. Loose in front and cleared away by Hagman for Finland. Hagman, by the way, tonight playing in his 101st game on a Finnish national team. He's a veteran. Also played back in the 1976 Canada Cup. Shot in. Ruotsalainen clears it right back out. And Copy will have to chase back after it. Canada on a power play. Canada had one power play goal in the 4-4 tie against Czechoslovakia. They've failed to score tonight with the man advantage. Here's Hartsburg. Getting it into the corner, but broken up by Curry. 3-on-1 break for Finland. Curry with Berta and Hagman. And Curry messed it up and then lost to Gretzky, but Berta followed up and got away a shot anyway. Back comes Mario Lemieux. Leaves for Gretzky. Gretzky centering one, and Murphy's shot is blocked. Now Canada back to Bork, a drive, and Taco took it against his chest and held it. 42 seconds left in Finland's penalty.
Finland's getting the chances, but they just seem to keep finding a way to mess it up. And it seemed like a rolling puck disturbed Corey on the play. Here's the chance here as Gretzky gets in, gives it to Bork. They just let it go. Ray Bork, the Boston Bruins. A defenseman with 95 points with the Boston Bruins. Does that sound familiar, Dan?
Only 26 years of age, and seems like he's been around forever, doesn't it?
Oh, yes.
Of course, when you break in at 18, it seems like you have been here for a while.
And be playing at 18 on a high-quality level. Former Calder Trophy winner, of course.
Here's Bork at the point, over to Murphy. Murphy centered, and one-timing it wide of the net was Dineen. Dineen tries again. 30 seconds left in the penalty. Hard-working Kevin Dineen. Back on the point. Comes back to Dineen. Back to Bork. Shoots one, blocked at the defense. Rebound to Howardchuk, and his shot deflects off Blomqvist and goes up into the crowd.
There's Kevin Dineen as he started his international play back with the Olympic team. 1984. Never forget Dineen, of course, playing through that Olympic year with the bad shoulders. Then he came on and joined the Hartford Whalers after the tournament. Has become one of those players that every coach in the NHL loves to have. Gritty, grinder type player who's prepared to pay any kind of a price for his team.
Not only a pretty good grinder, but he's become a good goal scorer. 40 goals last year. Here's Howardchuk trying to center. Jutila there to knock it away. And it's flipped out by Finland with just 5 seconds now left in the penalty. Bork back to get it. On the fly to Dineen. Dineen can't get it centered. Blomqvist takes him out. And then shot away. Held in by Murphy. Finland back at full strength. And then play is called as Gronstrand knocked it down with a hand pass. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
What you're about to see is what makes the new Cooper Superlight a better performance skate. This, the revolutionary Tough Tongue. The Tough Tongue locks your foot comfortably in place. So out here where it counts, Superlights give more support, more control, better protection when you need it most. Try new Superlights with Tough Tongue. See why the world plays hockey with Cooper.
9 minutes, 51 seconds left in the second period. 3-1 Canada. Here's a new line combination for Team Canada. Sutter at center ice with Claude Lemieux and Gardner on the wings. Comes to Patrick at the right point. In behind to Brent Sutter. Now to Claude Lemieux. Lemieux in front. There's a drive by Gartner from close in, and he blasted it well wide. And Rochefort has to chase back into Canada's zone. Rochefort plays one intended for Brent Sutter. Hustling back is Gronstrand. Gronstrand loses. Here's Gartner. Shoots, shot it wide. On a steal or a giveaway, Gartner just shot wide. Here's Sutter trying to center. Taco made the save, and with Gartner standing on his doorstep, Gary Taco held onto it.
Well, Gronstrand's having a terrible period. He was the one that gave away the puck and the bad clearing that set up the Dineen goal, and here he just hands it to Mike Gartner. Literally handed it to him. He couldn't have got a better pass from his teammate. Look at the play and the chance, and Gary Taco had to go the other way to step that one aside. Well, Gronstrand not having the best of periods at all.
Couple of giveaways back-to-back by Finland.
The second time round on his way out was Jukka Seppo, and turned that around as well.
Taco will watch a face-off off to his right. Gretzky with Tocchet and Kropp. Gretzky wins the draw. Up Tikkanen. Trying to get it. Siren knocked it back to the net. Here's Kropp giving it to Gretzky. Gretzky centered. Kropp couldn't get it. And Tikkanen breaks out. Tikkanen over to Curry. Gary Curry in, but Tikkanen was just in ahead of the play and offside at the Team Canada blue line.
There's a guy who worked very, very hard to make this team, Brian Kropp, who's in his 4th international tournament now. Coming into this tournament, had 25 games of international experience. Of course, he's become a fixture with the Philadelphia Flyers at the age of 28 from Lanigan, Saskatchewan.
8:53 left in period 2. 3-1 Canada over Finland. Here's Siren. Now bouncing one in. Fuhr there to grab it and clear it away. Hagman trying to hold it in. Knocked into center ice by Canada. And then Finland lose it, and here's Gretzky. To Kropp, blasting one high and wide. Ruotsalainen back to pick it up. Murphy held it in. Murphy to Gretzky, shooting. Taco the save. Rebound, Kropp banned on it, and Curry breaks back with Hagman and Tikkanen. 3-on-2 break. Tikkanen shoots wide in the short side. Tocchet now into center ice to Kropp to Gretzky. That's broken up. Tocchet now picks up a loose puck. Breaking in with Kropp to Kropp, back to Tocchet. Cleared by Berta and carried out by Jutila, number 7. Timo Jutila. Drop pass to Hagman, trying to center, but Bork breaks it up. Now Hagman center to Jutila. Shoots one, blocked. Another shot. This one stopped by Fuhr. Jutila again. Back of the net. Brent Sutter there to feed it out for Gretzky. Gretzky for Canada. Gretzky stick handling beautifully. Flips it in. Sutter went in to get it, but now fired out by Finland, and here's Skriko. Skriko carries in, and Ruutu had gone in ahead of the play, they say, offside at Canada's blue line. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
Playing hockey was a wonderful experience. Today, young Canadians are carrying on the tradition. Unfortunately, costs have increased. That's why McCormick Champagne Crackers have come to the support of minor hockey. October to December, when the young people come to your door, support them. $1 out of every package sold goes to support local teams, so everyone wins. You can enjoy the great taste of McCormick Champagne Crackers and support a Canadian tradition.
Well, when your two line mates are playing on the other side, you tend to do things like that. Blasted it away, but Gretzky has been wailing away when I think probably under normal circumstances he'd be making a play. He's just not familiar with his line mates yet, and that's part of the problem, of course, everybody in Team Canada is facing.
Here's the Team Canada line of Messier with Sutter and K.Lemьe. Carrying out his Bloomquist. Up the middle for Ruutu. Christian Ruutu feeding it to Petri Skriko, who fires it in for Finland. Ruutu going in to get it. Sutter took him out. Brent Sutter and Skriko fight for it. And as is usual the case, Sutter will win those battles, and Brent Sutter did. Here's K.Lemьe. Lemieux breaking into Messier, right in, he shoots, he scores! Mark Messier!
Our friend Lundstrom is caught again, and here comes the pass in front of the net. The deep man, the trailer on the play, was Mark Messier as Lemieux sets it up. It's Bork who runs the interference in front, and there was just nothing the tackle could do on that play at all. Here it is again. Now watch Bork, number 7, go to the front of the net. And the trailer, the third man on the play, Messier. Nicely set up.
The subtitle of this period could be The Period I'd Like to Forget by Jari Gronström. Here's Siren out there as Finland now trails 4-1. Finland trying to break it out. Howard Chuck held it in front to Dineen. He's checked out.
Like Brent Sutter, Kevin Dineen, K.Lemьe, and Rick Tocchet. These are the grinders, and if Finland had some of those players, along with their finesse, they'd be doing a lot better in this game.
That last scoring play was Messier from Sutter and Bork. 13-15 the time to make it 4-1 for Canada. Face-off coming up deep in Team Canada's end. The rink, Gretzky on the face-off, and then someone jumped into the circle. Olanen, number 22, is on the face-off against Gretzky. Gretzky wins it and Coffey controls. Nice pass up the middle, picked up there by Gartner. Knocked away from him. And now Udala coming up with a loose puck. Gartner back-checking, feeds Gretzky. Gretzky against Berta. Gretzky trying to make a play. Couldn't get it to Prop, and Finland clear it out of there. Murphy for Canada to Paul Coffey. Coffey's long pass eludes everyone, goes the length of the ice. Berta back to touch it, and that's icing against Canada. Canada, by the way, here in this second period seemed to have gone back to 3 lines, Ron, from the 4 lines they started the game with.
Well, there seemed to be a problem there with the team running a little flat. There's Hannu Virta. Hannu Virta is going to play in Finland again this year, but he's interested in returning to North America. Yeah, here's Dan Matheson down below.
Ron, I invite everyone to join us for our second intermission. We will talk live with Jari Kurri of the Finnish national team, also of the Edmonton Oilers, of course. Tom Watt of Canada's coaching staff joins us. Brad will have his highlights and analysis, and we'll have the Toyota scoring summary.
Okay, Dan, face-off coming up deep in Canada's end of the rink. Hagman against Messier. 5:09 left in the second period. Won by Finland. Blomqvist feeding it in. Now they drop it back, and Gronstrand couldn't get it or hold it in the zone, and they have to drop back. Now it's flipped in, but Bork is there for Canada. Over to Hartsburg. Hartsburg into center ice. And Hagman knocks it off the boards with Bork back to get it. Gives to Hartsburg, out to Sutter. Brent Sutter over to Bork, into the zone, but Messier was in ahead of the play. Offside at Team Finland's blue line.
There's Mark Messier, the Edmonton Oilers, of course. Just to finish the thought on Hannu Virta, who, of course, is a Buffalo Sabre property and played pretty well for Buffalo as well, but he had to go back to Europe to complete his military duty, and in so doing, had a kind of a year he'd like to forget. He has played very well the first half of the year, and then his game fell apart as he was trying to combine hockey and the military. So he's going back to Finland to play one more year, but says he would like to return to the NHL perhaps after this coming season.
Here's another giveaway. Goulet to Dineen. Dineen to Mario Lemieux. Shoot, shot it wide. Oh, Lemieux was in all alone and just missed. Here's Dineen. In front to Lemieux. Back to Dineen. Backhander. Taco comes out. Stops Dineen. Dineen fell back up to battle and center it. Here's Lemieux. Shot it right through the crease. And breaking out is Skriko. Over to Mikko Makala. Rochefort took him out of the play nicely. And now it's Patrick coming up with it, and then Fuhr is knocked flying by one of the Finnish forwards, and then he's grabbed by Norman Rochefort.
Rochefort has just eliminated, I would think, the penalty that is about to be handed out. So there's a charging penalty certainly going out. We'll get a chance when we come back to take a look at it, but we'll take a break with the score 4-1 Canada. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
Sun ain't up when I start. I'm working hard, but I'm working smart. I got me 100 to get around. I got power. A 4-track, 4x4 to cover ground. And I'm a 4-wheeling, good feeling Honda 4-tracks man. A 4-wheeling, hard-working man. Yes, indeed.
Christian Ruutu is the man who gets the penalty for Finland.
And there it is. They call that a charge. I'm a little doubtful of that. You're not allowed to touch a goaltender when he's outside the crease.
15:54 the time. Don't ask me. Ask Mr. Schubert.
And then the little wrestling match didn't help the matter too much.
I think all officials take into consideration that those goaltenders are pretty defenseless down there. And Norman Rochefort came right away to the aid of Grant Fuhr.
Looked a little stupid doing it. I mean, it just, to me, the whole thing was, you're out there wearing all that padding and so on. He was playing the puck.
Well, all teams do that when you get near the goaltender, don't you find?
Yeah, I find it. I find the whole affair is time-consuming.
Here's Canada on the power play. Bork firing it in for Goulet. Taco able to clear it away. Jutila trying to work it free behind the net. Gets it over to Berta. Berta with a good play, but Bork held it in. Into the corner. Berta gets it again. Off the boards to Suominen, one-on-one against Murphy. Suominen shot off Murphy and wide of the target. Now Murphy breaks out on right wing. His pass to Howardchuk. Howardchuk trying to move in. He's checked, and then Berta flips it to center ice, and Bork has it there. 1:08 left in Finland's penalty. Ray Bork over to Murphy. Canada changing on the fly as Murphy hits Messier. Messier to Murphy. Over to Gretzky. Back to Murphy. Murphy shooting. Pad save by Taco. Now Coffey pokes it in, but Berta intercepts and feeds Suominen. Back to Berta. Trying to center. Berta had a whack at it, but Coffey cleared it away. Canada still in a power play. 37 seconds left in Finland's penalty. Coffey breaking out. Flips it in, and Siren feeds Hagman. Hagman with only Coffey back. Shoots, and Fuhr came out and made the save, and Gretzky drops it back. Fuhr gives it back to Gretzky, who feeds Propp. Now to Hartsburg. 18 seconds left in Finland's penalty. Hartsburg wide with that shot. Digging in his Propp. Couldn't get it. Gretzky knocks it down, but Hagman then drops it back. And Gronstrand feeds Gary Curry. Here's Curry feeding it in. Finland back at full strength now. But a lead pass to Tocchet for Canada. Has Propp with him. The Philadelphia connection, but it's intercepted this time by Gronstrand. Now Hartsburg trying to hold it in. He couldn't. And Paul Coffey feeds it up on right wing to Gretzky. Gretzky stick handling beautifully. Back to Coffey. And that's intercepted, and Finland come to center but overskated. Coffey shoots it back in. Shot right back out by Siren, and Fuhr has to come out and beat Makala to it. Makala now trying to beat Skriko. Skriko tied up by Patrick. Now loose in front and whacked at and shot wide by Skriko. Skriko upended by Rochefort. Rochefort trying to freeze it there and does, and then they whistle it down because of a hand pass. 1:13 left in the period.
Well, you talk about your surprises. I guess Normand Rochefort is a surprise to some people in much the same way that we've mentioned a couple of others who have come along in this camp. But Rochefort turned up last year at Rendezvous when they had some injuries on their defense and wound up making the Rendezvous 87 team last winter. So then he turns up here and turns up to make this team as well. And I thought Serge Savard had a very interesting thing. He says, take a look at the record of the Quebec Nordiques when Normand Rochefort is not in their lineup. When he is out with injuries, and he's had a few of them over the years, he says he is very sorely missed.
Serge is a big booster of Rochefort. Of course, the Canadians play the Nordiques so often that he'd know him well, and he says he's a good one, and he alerted Keenan and the coaching staff to that. Keep an eye on him, they said. There's going to be a penalty to Canada now, as Bork will go. Delayed penalty at center to Berta. Now to Jutila. Over to Ruutu. Ruutu centered. Shot wide from the slot by Hagman. Delayed penalty coming up in Finland with great puck control here. Back to Jutila. Shooting. Pure the save, and now Tocchet gets possession. Now the delayed penalty to Bork with 39 seconds left here in the second period. Canada leading 4-1, but Bork to the penalty box, and Canada will be shorthanded.
A tough kind of a penalty to be called right at the side of the net. Somebody went down under some checking right there. Bork is the guy who's going off. This coming with 39 seconds remaining in the period. Watch the lower left of the screen on the replay when we get it.
Team Canada's penalty number 7, Raymond Bourque.
All right, watch the upper left. It's right at the side of the net. There it is, the check. Well, a little bit of extra push there from behind. Sent the player down. Makala. Cross-checking.
So Finland with their only goal in this game via the power play, with Hagman, Tikkanen, and Curry up front. Ruotsalainen is 1-point man, Jutila the other. But Canada comes up with it, and Patrick blasts it off the boards. The link to the ice. This is Timo Jutila, number 7.
It is Canada 4, Finland 1. 20 minutes left to play here at the Cup-87 in Hamilton, Ontario. The second game for both these teams in the 1987 version of the Canada Cup hockey tournament. Brad Park back with us once again. We've taken a look at a second period. Ron Roos said he thought the Finns were playing much better in that period than the first. Your thoughts? You agree?
No, I don't. I think that the Finns have been very tentative. They've been hounded by the Canadians. They've had trouble giving up a lot of giveaways, especially in their own end. And you got to credit people like Sutter and Lemieux and Tocchet for really chasing them down, putting some pressure on the defensemen. I think it's showing a little bit of weakness back there. They've got some good defensemen, you know, with Ruotsalainen and Virtu, but then they've got some inexperience back there.
Seems to me that the names you mentioned, along with Claude Lemieux and Kevin Dineen and Tocchet and Sutter, that's exactly the kind of player that the Finns do not have.
It's true. I think that it's one thing. They've got an awful lot of finesse out there, but finesse doesn't get the puck out of the corner. Well, it does, but not all the time. Sometimes when the other guy's got the puck, you've got to get out of the corner, and you're not going to go in there and stick handle and get it out. You've got to knock people down. You got to dig it out. You've got to make the one thing the Canadians are is making the Finnish team very aware of people chasing them, which means they know they're going to get hit, and it worries them. I don't think the Canadian defense is as worried about the Finnish forwards.
All right, 2-1 was the score in that period. Canada wins another period. You've got highlights for us?
I think so. You know, one thing that was a classic out there was the Canadian power play. They had some great opportunities there. They moved the puck around very well. They also took the point shots. Now, a lot of times when you're playing against teams and they use a small box, you've got to go to the point. And the one thing the Russians don't do is they don't go out to the point. However, the Canadians, in this exam, went out to the point a couple of times. First of all, they win the draw. Dig the puck out. They've got the puck over on the boards. Here's Dineen going back to the point to Bork. Bork makes a good play keeping it in. Now he starts looking around. He comes back over the other side to Murphy. Now look in front of the net. That's one thing that really distracts teams. Lemieux is in front of the net and the defenseman doesn't know where to chase him. Now Dineen has the puck. He's going to play, move it out with Ray Bork here. Now watch the guy at the top of the box for the Finnish team. He's killing the penalty. Look how tight that box is. Goes out to the point. They bring the guy out of the box. Bork goes back to Dineen. Now, the guy from the top of the box rushes in and leaves Bork open for the one-timer. Unfortunately, the other players in Canada didn't read the one-timer. We didn't have anybody in front of the net. But good position and working from the top of the blue line in. We have to look at that type of things. The Russians and the European teams like to play in tight on the power play. Kevin Dineen, you know, he's getting more ice time tonight than he has in the past, and he capitalized on a very good opportunity. You got to admire, because here's Goulet. Now watch Goulet take two people out here, right? Both defensemen, boom, comes around. Larry Murphy moves in. Dineen, who should be backing up, just keeps going, and he beats Tackle low on the glove side. Now Tackle was more worried about Murphy shooting the puck, and he was playing Murphy's shot, and Murphy fanned on it, and that's why it caught him out of position. Ray Bork playing very well tonight and created the Messier goal, and Claude Lemieux with a very heads-up play while he was carrying the puck. Bork moves it up to Lemieux. Now watch Bork go right to the net, right through, forces the defenseman on the other side to make the choice. He stays a little bit more with Bork. The puck comes from Lemieux to Messier, and Messier just puts it by Tackle, and he had no chance because he didn't see it because of Ray Bork.
A glimmer of hope for the Finns might be the fact that their power play, which as we mentioned before was 0 for 18 coming into this hockey game, finally clicked in the second period. That might give them a little bit of confidence.
It did. It was a little breakdown, and unfortunately Grant Fuhr was screened by Ray Bork, and it was just one of those things. You know, you miss a guy behind the net, no real danger. It wasn't a hard shot, but the screen went through. The other thing that, you know, really is great, the last highlight that I have is B.Sаттер doing such a great job and chasing down Gronstad. I mean, Gronstad had a little panic in his eyes.
He had a tough period, too.
And it was kind of one of the things, the Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, you get the puck and this guy keeps coming, and who is this guy? he keeps coming at me. Now watch Sutter fight off an interference here. He's holding off, he fights off the interference. Gronstad sees him. He should have put the brakes on right there, but he doesn't want to get hit, and he just puts the puck right on Gardner's stick, and Tackle made a very good save staying with him. But that's the kind of pressure the Canadians have been putting on to really upset the Finns.
Finns are down by 3 goals heading home. Have they got a chance, or are the Canadians going to relax now?
Well, not really. You know, the way the Canadians are playing and the pressure that they're putting on them, the Finns aren't the team that's going to rally. I think they're going to play better if they have a lead. Unfortunately, they've got to play catch-up hockey, and they've got finesse to do it. But I don't think that they have the puck carriers deep in their end that are going to leg it up. They've got to start making some 4-man rushes. And guys like Ruotsalainen and Virtue have got to go to the offense.
Speaking of offense, we also have the Finnish goal all queued up for us. It's the power play goal. They finally got some nice nifty play that worked for them.
It did. You know, they do have a lot of talent. And here's a good move at the blue line. Messier's out there forcing. It's going to end up behind the net. And you look at Ruutu, he's behind it. He does a good job of shoving off this check by Bork. Bork gets a piece of him. Now Messier holds his position at the top of the box. Ruutu walks out. Bork goes to him. It's not a hard shot, but it's perfectly placed. It goes between Bork's legs and through Fuhr's legs.
4-1, that's how we stand right now with 20 minutes left to play. Stay with us. We are at the Cup-87 in Hamilton, Ontario. This is the 1987 Labatt Canada Cup.
Your Texaco retailer isn't faster than a speeding bullet. He can't leap tall buildings in a single bound. And he's slightly less powerful than a locomotive. But when you need service, he's there. Besides, he's a super guy. Expect more from Texaco.
Will that be all?
You got a phone booth around here?
In times of indecision like these, it's always best to see what the professionals use. Professionals have been using mono-brand caulking for over 20 years. If it's good enough for professionals, Mono will do the job for you. So when the day comes, and it will, when you need to buy caulking, buy Mono, the professional choice.
I'm gonna put this dream in motion, never let nothing stand in my way. When the going gets tough, the tough get going.
Tough in every size. Dodge, backed by the 7-115 warranty. That's the Dodge family of Ram Tough trucks.
When the going gets tough, the tough get going. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. Tough.
Can't lie down on the job doing stunts like this. It takes all my concentration and split-second time. My job is tough enough without my allergies acting up. I take Tavist. With Tavist, I get up to 12 hours of relief from allergy symptoms, and I can do my job. I have to look alive, because if I don't, I might not be home.
The Canadians and the Finns both looking for their first victory in this tournament, playing in their second game. The Canadians with a leg up, leading by 3 as we head into the third and final period. Joining us now in the second intermission, Tom Watt with the Canadian coaching staff. What he has been doing principally is pre-scouting, looking at the teams that are coming up for the Canadian team. And we were chatting before the game. Tom, you had some interesting points about the Finns. You've seen them play a bunch so far in exhibition and in the tournament. What was your scouting report on them?
Well, the one thing was that their power play hadn't been too potent, and I know that you've been referring to it. They were 0 for 18 coming into tonight, and but now they've scored once on their 21st opportunity in the last 3 games. So that was the main thing. They hadn't, and they hadn't been generating too much offense. I think they relied mainly on two groups: the Hagman, Curry, and Tikkanen group, and Ruutu, Skriko, and Makala. And they didn't play a 4th line at all, and in the game so far, I think their 4th line has only gotten 3 shifts. So they're relying mainly on 2 lines, and I think when we keep pouring over the boards, I think that's to our advantage rather than relying on too few players. I think that's one point that I think we're going to see their young kids, the 4th group, maybe a little more later in the game. But mainly their power play hasn't been all that good.
What specifically has been wrong with it?
Well, they controlled the puck well. They moved around the periphery, but they didn't have anybody in front of the net, and they weren't blasting it at the net. Especially, I mean, if you've got a Rotsalainen, he's got to fire that puck at the net. He can shoot, and they were maybe twice in the last game they were firing off the net, trying to get the nice little cute play off the edge of the net with Curry tipping it in, but they had nobody in front. They controlled it around the periphery, but they didn't really capitalize.
They don't seem to have the kind of player who's willing to stand in front.
Well, that's true. They on their forward line, they don't have a big fellow like Otto or someone like that to go in front of the net. He does that very well. So maybe you've got to do it another way, but it hasn't been very successful the way they have been doing.
Curry and Tikkanen, they can put the puck in the net when they have a centerman who can keep up and set them up. Matty Hagman is the only player in this tournament who played in the very first Canada Cup. He's 32 years old. His legs are a little slow. Are we wasting 2 fine, talented wingers?
In my opinion, yes. I think that Matty Hagman has been a fine player, but from what I've seen, he makes the cute play. There's no question about that, and he's smart. He's got, but smarts only go so far when the legs leave you. I mean, you've got to, and I think that Curry, is used to playing with certainly another premier player in Wayne Gretzky and Tikkanen as well. So it's maybe a little different for those 2 wingers to play between Matty Hagman to play between them.
What did the report read on goaltender Taco?
Taco stood up well, kicked out rebounds. Those big pads, he didn't seem to control rebounds as well off the pads as I think maybe he should have. Only fair outside of his crease, but he stands up pretty well. And
Guest booth, Ron Roosh. Ron, you've covered a lot of European hockey. Let's talk a little bit about Finland. You made an interesting comment at the outset when you said they've never won a medal. They've developed some great individual players. Jari Kurri, a 71-goal scorer, a 68-goal scorer. How come they've never been successful as a team?
Well, there are a couple of reasons, I think, Dan. First of all, I think a point that Brad Park brought up, which is a very good one, the fact that they're not aggressive enough to play really good hockey against the Czechoslovakias and the Soviets, and of course Team Canada over the years. Well, there's another problem that they have. They've always developed the good players, but never the good teams. And part of it, I think, is that their extracurricular work sometimes at World Hockey tournaments, it's rather well known in Europe that they tend to enjoy the nightlife a great deal as well. And they're true amateurs in every sense when they've been getting over to these tournaments. And quite often they just don't perform up to their abilities. As for this game tonight, there's just a total lack of cohesion.
Pick up trucks. Who could ask for anything more? Second period summary saw Dineen score for Canada at 2:49. Ruutu with that power play goal for Finland to narrow Canada's lead, but then Messier at 13:15 to give Canada the 4-1 lead. Shots on goal in the game so far, Canada 38 and Finland 25.
Well, looking back on my score sheet here, Dan, and one thing I noticed over a period of time, if we hadn't had that terrible period by Grundstrand, and I hate to pick on one player because quite often there are others that lead the way, but he made that bad clearing pass that led the way to the Dineen goal. He gave away a puck right inside the zone to Gardner. Got caught up ice on the Messier goal. But then you look back at the scoring chances in the second period, and the interesting thing about it was, and it's a statistic that Team Canada keeps very closely, especially Mike Dineen, and that is that they have the Mike Keenan rather. They've had the edge Finland has in that period. I'm thinking of Makala early on in the period, made a great play that Fjord made a big save on. Ruotsalainen at the 6-minute mark, and again, Fjord had to come up very big. There was a 3-on-1 while Canada was on a power play. Corey completely messed it up after he got over the line, but Canada had made a big mistake right there. But the Grundstrand mistakes have completely eliminated any chance for Finland to get into this game. They're trailing 4-1, and I have a feeling now that Canada can coast on home with this one.
You look at Kerry Taco, the goaltender with the Minnesota North Stars, and the goaltender tonight. They talked about probably going to alternate goaltenders, Taco and Jarmo Milos. But the thinking was that even though Taco played the first game, he'd play this game tonight because of his experience against the Gretzkys and these snipers on Team Canada.
Well, a grand total of 38 shots on him through 2 periods. I'd have to say he's done his job. He was the most valuable player in the U.S. game in Hartford the other night, and I think he'll probably be the Finnish MVP again tonight.
Now, right from the face-off, a little bit of an altercation, and we're going to get penalties, I believe, against both teams, at least against Jari Kurri of Finland, the team captain of Finland. And yeah, Team Canada player will go with Jari Kurri, Norman Rochefort, number 5. The attendance here tonight, 9,624. So penalties against both teams right here. By the way, all penalties in Canada Cup rules must be served. The International Ice Hockey Federation does not use the coincidental minor or coincidental major penalty rules.
Remo Bork, by the way, is in the penalty box already. He's starting the period and has now a minute 16 remaining in his penalty. So Finland is on the power play.
And the more dangerous variety, 4 against 3. Canada has Messier out there as its only forward. Now we're ready as Ruutu has scored the only goal for Finland, steps in against Messier, and Messier swipes it right down the ice. This is Ruotsalainen, number 29. To Ruutu. Firing it around onto the other side. Digging in, Jutila. Number 7, Jutila. To Ruutu. Over to Ruotsalainen, back to Jutila, return to Ruotsalainen. Back to Jutila. Ruutu to Rudala to Ruotsalainen, wide on the short side. Canada playing that diamond penalty killing situation superbly, at least until that point. Now Ruutu back on the point. Back to Ruutu again. Side of the net to Tikkanen, and Fjord came out and made the save, and then it's cleared out of there by Canada. Here's Ruutu. Sweden on a 4, or Finland on a 4 against 3 power play. Tikkanen centering one across to number 7, Jutila. Now to Ruotsalainen. Weak shot, handled by Fjord and cleared by Murphy, the link to the ice.
Well, that expired the power play situation.
Bork is back on, so Now the penalties to Curry and Roast were the only ones on the clock. Each team a man short. Here's Makela. Weak shot. Fjord took no chance as he held onto it with Skriko cutting in front of the Canada goal.
I'd like to remind you that the Labatt player of the game for Finland will receive the new Canon EOS autofocus that never misses. They stop the game with the only autofocus camera quick enough to capture all the action. The Canon EOS, more than autofocus, more than ever.
Head coach Reno Corpy trying to get his charges going. They lost to the United States in their opening game 4-1. They're losing here to Canada early in the third 4-1. Brent Sutter out on the ice for this face-off against Mikko Makela. They're, of course, New York Islander teammates in the wintertime. Face-off won by Finland. Berta trying to center, but Sutter is there. Sutter feeding Coffey. Paul Coffey shoots. Taco the save. Didn't know where the rebound was, but Gronstrand picked it up. And they're going to rule he closed his hand on the puck, or knocked it ahead and then picked it up, and we got a stoppage in play.
Well, there's Kari Taco, and there's his general manager, Lou Nanny, off in the crowd there, and the Manning crowd, as we call it, I suppose, here in Hamilton, all 9,624 of them. And I think he's quite happy with the way his goaltenders played so far. Here's Paul Coffey leading the way. Boy, he has skated well in this tournament. Maybe the best I've seen him skate in over a year. He had so many problems with his skates last year and getting his season going until the playoffs, of course. But he has really been freewheeling here. That part of his game has been going well.
Back miseries for much of last year bothered Coffey. Team still a man short. 7 seconds left in those penalties. Here's Canada as Gretzky tried to feed Goulet. Now Blomqvist at Finland's blue line. Blomqvist breaking away. Checked on the play. Now Curry getting the puck. Here's Jerry Curry. Team's back at full strength. Drop pass back. And the shot up high by Helminen off the glass. Gretzky over to Coffey. And Coffey feeds it into center ice. Picked up by Gretzky. Has Goulet with him. Gretzky shoots off the post and into the corner. Suominen for Finland. Checked by Tuckett. Centered, but Blomqvist is there to intercept. Now Coffey into the corner to Gretzky. Over onto the other side to Goulet. Now to Tuckett. He can't get it centered. Michel Goulet to Gretzky. Gretzky in front to Goulet. Big save, Taco. On the deflection by Goulet on a perfect setup by Gretzky. Here's Coffey for Canada to Hartsburg. Flipping it in, Ruotsalainen, number 29, back to get it. Now to Jari Curry. Broken up. Curry gets it once more to Ruotsalainen to Curry. Curry letting a long shot go. Here's Tikkanen shooting, pad save, and quickly the rebound cleared by Bork. Canada trying to get it out of there. Ruotsalainen held it in. Now Coffey back in the corner, and Coffey flips it into center ice. Siren, number 8, going back to pick it up. Siren from the Pittsburgh Penguins to Ruotsalainen. Now to Curry. Now into center ice to Ojanen, who shot it in. Tikkanen barging in, couldn't get it, and it's cleared out of there by Canada. Ruotsalainen back to get it. Here's Dineen getting a loose puck and firing it in. Canada with a 4-1 lead. Rochefort at the point. Rebound to Dineen. Dineen centered. It missed prop. Held in by Rochefort. To Mario Lemieux. Mario Lemieux on the boards. Losing it. And Ruutu clears it over onto the other wing to Tikkanen. He can't get it up. And now Ruotsalainen fires it into center ice. Here's Dineen. Upended, and Finland take over. And back they come with Skriko. He's knocked off the puck, and Canada's Dineen cleared it to center. Verta for Finland. Over to Jutila. Long pass to Skriko, who dumps it in. Here's Ruutu, and he's knocked down by Dineen. And Kevin Dineen starts back. Rochefort picks up the loose puck. He played it off the boards. Jutila going back to get it, but Taco cleared it to Makela. Back to Jutila. Canada's Sutter in for checking, but Finland come out of there, and here's Mikko Makala to Christian Ruutu. Dumping it in is Ruutu. Messier back for Canada. Here's Mark Messier. Speed and strength. On number 11, Messier. To Sutter. Knocked away by Taco. Messier again. To Coffey. Shot blocked. Messier there to pick it up. And Canada control near their own blue line. Murphy to Coffey. Here comes Paul Coffey. To K.Lemьe. Trying to center it across, and that's intercepted by Helminen. Helminen starting back. Lead pass to Gronstrand. Murphy cleared it away, and here comes Messier. Messier in, shoots, and that went off a stick into the corner. He was tied up by Blomqvist. That's Blomqvist now tying up Sutter on the play. Sutter continues to battle. Kicked it loose, but Suominen is there to poke it out for Finland. And Bork has to go back for Canada. Canada with a 4-1 lead. We approach the 7-minute mark here in the third period. Dumped in by Goulet. Now Gretzky back of the net, centers. Goulet couldn't get it, and Curry feeds it to Tikkanen. Long shot. Bure kicked out his left leg. Now Bork being checked by Tikkanen. Poked it. Held in by Finland, and now Tocchet has it for Canada. Couldn't get it out of the zone. Finland with Hagman. To Curry. Back to Hagman. Matty Hagman centering. Shot. Bure the save. Big rebound, and it was knocked away by Bork. And Canada's Hartsburg now carries up. Hartsburg over across the line. Tocchet moving in. Centered to Goulet. Never got the shot off. And Ruotsalainen breaks out. Here's a pass to Curry. Curry shot one. Rebound. Rochefort stopped the first one. Bure the second. Here's Curry again. To Jutila. Shot blocked by Rochefort in the slot. And Canada comes up with it, and Patrick clears it to Propp. And Brian Propp shoots it into center ice. Curry dropped it back, gets it back again from Berta, cleared it in, and Rochefort back to pick it up. Rochefort for Canada. Into center ice to Propp. Now to Mario Lemieux to Propp. Centered one off escape. And Finland come back 3-on-2, led by Ruutu. Ruutu trying to flip it through, and it's knocked away into the corner by Grant Bure. Canada come back. There's Gartner trying to move in. He was checked, and Finland flip it back out to center. A lot of play run in the neutral ice area.
Well, you're getting your work in about 5 minutes now without a whistle.
And not much happening either way.
No.
Which is fine with Canada with a 3-goal lead. It's Finland that has to open things up. Here's Murphy at his own blue line to Mario Lemieux. Sliding it in. Taco out of the net. Into the corner. Canada trying to center. Here's Brent Sutter. Sutter back of the net to Mario Lemieux. Flipped it in front. Sutter over to pick it up. Now on the boards. Here's Mario Lemieux. Into the corner. Knocked away, and Brent Sutter has it. Couldn't get a shot off. And breaking out for Finland is Helminen, number 18. His pass to Suominen. Suominen, number 25, spins around. Flipping it back of the net to Helminen. Canada trying to clear it. Sutter couldn't get it out, but now picked up and cleared by Hartsburg. Too far for Messier. Down the ice it goes, and icing called against Canada. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
Take me back where I belong. Take me where it's safe and warm.
The Goodyear Vector is the all-season radial that pumps water away to keep more tire tread on the road. And for some, that's a comforting thought.
Take me home, Goodyear, take me home. Never matters how far I go, Goodyear, take me home.
10 6:43 to play. We went 6 minutes without a whistle, folks.
Well, the shots on goal in this period, Finland out shooting Canada 10-5, but Dan, you don't get the feeling that they're doing anything out there. Shots are coming in from a long distance out. They're not really getting in on Grant Fuhr at all, and as I said, at the beginning of this period, it looked like we were just going to be coasting through to the end of this one. Canada is just kind of holding back and just coasting through here.
Ojanen from the face-off, but Rochefort broke that up and cleared it into center ice. Ruotsalainen dropping it into his own zone to Granstrand. Cleared out, stolen by Gretzky. Gretzky for Canada, trying to center. And that's knocked away by Finland's defense, and here's Jari Kurri. Got it to center. Carried back in by Dineen. Dineen taken out by Siren. And now Tikkanen has it, feeding it to Kurri. Kurri breaking in. Kurri off the boards to Tikkanen. Tikkanen centering one, and that's intercepted, and back comes Kevin Dineen, number 14. Dineen couldn't get around the defenseman Jutila, who clears it to Tikkanen. Hartsburg back for Canada. Canada playing much better defensively tonight than they did in the Canada Cup opener against Czechoslovakia. And they've held Finland to just 1 goal to this point. Here's a centering pass. Broken up, and then Goulet upending the Finnish player, and he got away with it as Skriko limps away. And now some stick swinging on the far side. Dineen into it, I believe, with Ojanen. And the linesmen have to keep everyone separated there. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
When you look around, most every place you go, city and country, there's a taste you'll know, and so more and more, each and every day, 'cause good taste draws a crowd. You'll hear people say, my light is blue, it's the true blue taste. Blue light's the one, blue light's the one, look around, blue light's the one.
Well, a subdued Finland bench. They may have a territorial edge here, but they're not getting to the net.
Here's Ruutu getting ready on a face-off. Deep in Canada's zone. Ruutu wins the draw from Lemieux to Perta. Over to the other side, and then Bork intercepts and cleared it out for Canada. Missed big Mario Lemieux at the pass. Down the ice it goes, and it's Mike Gartner in there in the corner, bashing people around and flipping it behind the net. Perta loses it. Gartner trying to get it in front, cleared away by Taco, and then shot out by Finland. Going back to get it, Canada. 9 minutes left in the third period as Hartsburg feeding it to Ray Bork. Bork to Mario Lemieux. Lemieux stick handling, in on goal. Put it right on the goal line, but couldn't get it in. Now Gartner a shot. Taco robs Mike Gartner. 2 great chances. First Lemieux, then Gartner. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
The all-new GMC Sierra is hundreds of improvements on everything the full-size pickup has ever been before. The largest new vehicle investment in General Motors history. What can we possibly say about hundreds of improvements? Just this. They're not improvements until you say they are. Test drive the new Sierras soon.
Well, there is an artist. Want to see an artist at work? Watch this. Don't have to say too much. Look at the move. And the chance. He nearly put it in. And then Gartner had a great chance himself.
All right, that was Mario Lemieux at work. Back to the live action. Järvi trying to center it for Granstrand. He fires it around onto the boards. Coffey trying to clear it. Loose in the Canada end of the rink, and here comes Gretzky with Coffey and Goulet. To Coffey, to Gretzky, to Goulet. Taco a sprawling. Great save on Goulet. Held in by Tocchet. Gretzky couldn't get anywhere, and back comes Järvi, but that's called back on an offside pass. 8:01 remaining in the third period. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
Running has changed dramatically over the last 10 years, mainly because of what you put on your feet. Now, what science and technology have done for the running shoe, Mega does for the hockey skate. Mega, the first skate bioengineered to work with the foot, providing greater flexibility and faster power transfer. Mega, proven and preferred by hockey superstar Raymond Bourque. Catch up with hockey's breakaway innovation, Mega, at your nearest Micron Mega dealer.
Rayo Ruotsalainen played last year in Switzerland. He's going to play this year in Sweden with great mounds of money coming his way. And in between, he played on a Stanley Cup winner in Edmonton.
Here's Gary Curry, who also played on that Stanley Cup Edmonton Oilers squad, firing it in. Cleared away by Fuhr. Back after it and clearing it out is Patrick into center ice, but Messier checked from behind by Curry, and it's dumped back in. Rochefort off the boards to Lemieux, giving it to Ruotsalainen, firing it back in. And here's James Patrick. New York Ranger defenseman James Patrick to Rochefort. He couldn't clear it. Patrick has to hustle back, get some help from Fuhr, and Fuhr cleared it into center ice. Finland trailing by 3 with just over 7 minutes left in this game. Here is a lead pass to Ruotsalainen, firing it in. Now held in at the other point by Blomqvist. Now they rule it came outside the line, and it's offside. 7:04 remaining. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
Only you.
Just because you've washed your car doesn't mean you're finished. After each wash, you need some Armor All on the dash, the bumper, and especially the tires. Armor All, it's the finishing touch every time you wash your car.
You're my dream.
And now, introducing Clean Start, the new cleaner which safely removes tough dirt. Clean Start, only from Armor All products.
7:04 remaining in the third period. With Ron Roosh, I'm Dan Kelly, and right from the face-off, it's flipped up into the crowd. And we'll do it over again at Team Canada's blue line.
We'll keep waiting for somebody. Van took that one in the shoulder. Doesn't feel a thing with a puck for a souvenir. So waiting for somebody to take over, Dan. It hasn't happened yet. It will, of course. There'll be 1 or 2 players that start to manifest themselves and show that they're going to be stars in this series. It wasn't until about, well, the tag end of the opening round that we saw Tonelli and Sutter start to take over the last Canada Cup.
Here's Ruutu for Finland. Firing a long one. Fuhr handles it and quickly cleared it out to Gartner. Long pass to Lemieux. Big Mario from the Pittsburgh Penguins tipping it in. Prop in to get it. Mario Lemieux in the corner trying to get it to Prop. Lemieux does center it, but Makela intercepts. Mikko Makela, number 24, taken out by Bourque, and it's fired back up by Hartsburg. Prop to Lemieux. Mario Lemieux cutting in. Fake, shoots, hit the post. This time did Lemieux. He had Taco completely beaten and rattled it off the post. Back comes Makela. Tied up by Bourque, and Bourque will get a penalty here. Delayed penalty coming up as Gronstrand gives it over to Blomqvist, back to Gronstrand. To Bourque, and now Bourque will go to the penalty box for Canada. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
Some people will buy any old gasoline. Others expect more. So they go the extra mile to Texaco for the clean gasoline and competitively priced products. As well, we give you special bonuses year-round that stretch your dollar even further. Expect more from Texaco.
Well, somewhere through all of that, Ray Bourque picked up a holding penalty. Our eagle-eyed truck apparently has spotted it. We certainly did. And now we do. That's holding.
Maybe he wasn't as bad a call as I thought.
Yeah.
And Schubert didn't have an instant replay to help him. Puck cleared away by Canada. Finland trailing by 3. Less than 6 minutes to play. They're on a power play. Here's Jari Kurri. Flipping it through. Tikkanen couldn't get anywhere. Finland has to regroup, and Ruotsalainen, number 29. Feeding it into center ice to Hagman. Now over to number 7, Jutila. Into Hagman. Matty Hagman, number 20, the veteran. Dropping it to Jutila. Back to Hagman. Hagman to Kurri. Kurri back on the point. Ruotsalainen. Into the corner to Hagman. Back to Ruotsalainen. To Hagman again. Side of the net to Tikkanen. Centering. Jutila wide open. Waited too long. Never got the shot off. Here's Ruotsalainen. To Jutila. Over to Hagman. Back to Ruotsalainen. Canada playing the box perfectly. Hagman's shot blocked by Rochefort. Tikkanen trying to get it to Hagman and does. Back to Tikkanen. Good puck control, but the front of the net has been clogged up. Now Ruotsalainen gets a shot away. That was on target. Dior had to make the save, but great penalty killing by Canada.
Well, there's nothing happening. They're going around and around outside in the perimeters. You're not going to get much of a scoring chance. They've got to attack the net a bit. They haven't done it at all tonight.
Haven't played very aggressively as the puck now flips up over the glass as Kurri and Kopi collide.
Well, we're going to be with you all the way, and some of the games coming up on the Canada Cup tomorrow night, August 31st. The United States will be meeting Sweden, Regina, Saskatchewan. Soviet Union versus Czechoslovakia. That'll be and always is a great hockey game. Fans in Regina getting ready to enjoy that one.
Fans here in Hamilton tonight, over 9,000. Canada with a 4-1 lead. At the point, Berta holding it in to Ruutu. He's checked, and Skriko gets it back of the net. Now to Ruutu again. 8 seconds left in Canada's penalty. Makela, number 24, couldn't get around Kopi. Makela trying to center. Tipped away by Murphy and cleared by Messier. Bourque is back on. Canada killing it off very ably. Here's Makela. 3:45 left. 4-1 Canada. Makela leaving it there to Skriko. Skriko taken out by Murphy. And it's Messier to Brent Sutter. Over to Messier. Canada on the attack. Here's Messier with some fancy stick handling. Dropping it to Hartsburg. Shoots one. Taco the save. Hartsburg again to Kopi with a bullet off the target. Rebound out in front. Dropped back by Goulet. Kopi shot. Goulet a whack at it. That went wide. Here's Sutter into the corner. That's Messier. Can't center it. Taco knocks it away. And clearing it is Ruutu, but it's held in by Hartsburg. Now breaking out, Skriko. A poor pass that Kopi's able to intercept. Headmanning to Gretzky, leaving for Goulet. Centers. Chance for Tocchet, but that was broken up, and Berta cleared it away, and here's a 3-on-2 break for Finland. Helminen dropping it to Suominen. He just got it into the corner, and it's quickly cleared out of there by Canada. Gretzky now with a break with Tocchet. Gretzky on his knees, the pass to Tocchet, but intercepted. Suominen right back for Finland. Leaving it for Järvi. In front for Blomqvist, couldn't control it. Finland trying to make a centering play, but Hartsburg has it all bottled up. Now gets some help from Tocchet. Tocchet flipping it on the boards. Held in by Suominen. Now back on the point. Blomqvist shot, pure and easy save. 2 minutes remaining as Bourque cleared it to center for Canada. And Wayne Gretzky moves in with Bourque. Pass to Bourque. Bourque put it right through the crease, just wide. Tikkanen back for Finland. Into center ice. Here's a shot right on. Pure made the save on the Finnish player, Berta.
He has faced all Ready with 1:40 remaining in the game. And that is what, 90, almost 100 shots in 2 games now, and he's given up 8 goals. That's not bad.
Here's Ojanen on a face-off, winning the draw, but Murphy is there for Canada. Puck went off the linesman, and Canada has to regroup. Mario Lemieux with Murphy and Coffey backing it up. Coffey just cleared it away. Here's Tikkanen with Murphy in the corner, and Mario Lemieux gives it to Coffey. Coffey to Prop into center ice. Now Coffey clearing it away, and going back to get it is Siren. He played it off the boards down the ice. We're down to 1:10 remaining. Larry Murphy to Paul Coffey. Firing it into center ice to Mike Gartner to Mario Lemieux. Couldn't get it, and Ruotsalainen knocked it away. We're in the final minute of this game. Canada with a 4-1 lead. Here's Gary Curry breaking into Tikkanen. Tikkanen back to Curry. Curry tied up, and Mario Lemieux will clear it off the boards into center ice. Ruotsalainen back to get it. Long pass. Curry deflects it. Fuhr grabbed it. And Brent Sutter cleared it away. Messier checked by Tikkanen. And Finland dump it in, but they have not had enough offense to test Canada tonight, Ron.
Well, it's just really the lack of aggression, just the failure to get in close on Grant Fuhr, give him an opportunity to make the saves.
Claude Lemieux for the Montreal Canadiens controlling. 15 seconds left. Lemieux able to get it out into the center ice area, and then it's fired down by Sutter. And going back is Berta, number 23, with 5 seconds left. And Canada about to win its first in this 1987 Canada Cup. It's over, and Canada 4-1 victors here over Finland. Canada with a win and a tie now in 2 games in this tournament.
Well, they played it out, Dan. That's all they did. It was 4-1 at the end of the second period, and it wound up 4-1 final score. There was no scoring. There were a couple of good shifts. I thought the shift of the tournament so far was a shift that Mark Messier had around the 6-minute mark of this period. He made some great rushes, made some great chances. He also made some great checks. It was one of those things. But we're still waiting for somebody to start to take control of this hockey game, to take control of the team and start to provide the leadership on the ice. There's 23 leaders out there, and we just have to see who eventually is going to be the person who takes over.
Canada 4, Finland 1. The final score here, Canada with a win and a tie now, and we're going to the center ice area for our closing ceremonies with PA announcer Claude Mouton.
Ladies and gentlemen, to present the Labatt Player of the Game Awards, we would like to invite at center ice from Labatt, Ontario Brewery, Mr. Jim Steele, and from the Canon Camera Company, the National Account Manager, Mr. Paul Mather. The Labatt Player of the Game for Team Finland.
It was just great. Tackle just stopped everything he had. There was 3 good chances. There were excellent chances, and he held his ground.
Kerry Taco made 54 saves. Certainly that is a good night's work. A couple of those shots in the third period, Mario Lemieux looking like the magician we've all heard about and seen so often.
He did, and you know, I'd like to show you 3 highlights right now, and the first one we're going to look at is a Wayne Gretzky pass. It's probably the strongest attribute that Wayne has. As they break up over the ice, here's Wayne Gretzky, and he just lays it over from Michel Goulet. Now watch Taco, how quickly he goes to his right and just shuts down. He gets it with his left leg, it's in behind. Mario Lemieux is the magician. He can be, and the game got loosey-goosey, and the first time he takes the puck up the ice, he walks around Timo Blomqvist. Now watch Mario here. I like this in slow motion, the zoom on him. He's going to put it in the triangle. He's going to put it under the defenseman's stick. He's going to leave it there. The defenseman goes for it, looks at it. Mario walks around. Now it's a waiting game. Let's play chicken. Who's going to hold it the longest? And everything but the finish. But you remember, Mario's moving pretty fast in that play, and it's tough to tuck it in. The second time, it's the same thing. He picks it up, goes around the defenseman lunges. Here's the waiting game that's really good because Tackle just waits and waits and waits, and he runs out of room and dings it off the post. And you got to admire a kid like Tackle who just stands his ground at such a young age.
Well, Brad, we've got Team USA next for Canada Wednesday night. Do you expect any major changes from the Canadian team?
I think this is going to be North American hockey at its best. This is going to be a grinder because the Americans don't have the finesse that the Canadians have, so they're going to have to grind it out, and I'm sure the Canadians are going to be ready.
Okay, well, we'll see you on Wednesday night. The Team USA, by the way, used to share first place in this tournament, along with Sweden at 1-0, but we have a new leader atop the standings. Canada with 1 win and a tie. The tie, of course, Friday night with Czechoslovakia, 4-4 tie in Calgary to get the tournament underway, and then the 4-1 win tonight over the Finns, who at 0-2 now have the cellar all to themselves. Sweden 1-0, USA 1-0, tied for second place. Labatt started the game for Team Canada, Kevin Dineen of the Hartford Whalers. He joins us now. Kevin, I guess we all must be a little happier about the way the game went tonight, the way the team played tonight as opposed to the opener.
Yeah, I think we were a little disappointed there after the first game, although I didn't think we played that bad. But a tie, we felt we could win the game, and I think we were really fired up tonight, and we were ready for him, and just came out, and right from the opening face-off, we were going all night, and had a couple breakdowns there, but I think we got the big goaltending when we needed it, and I think it was a solid game, and it's I think we're headed in the right direction now.
We've been mentioning, certainly we mentioned several times during our telecast, that it seems to us that what the Finns lack are players like Kevin Dineen, Rick Tocchet, Claude Lemieux. It just seems that they don't have the aggressive kind of people who are willing to go in and get the puck, or the aggressive people to stay in the slot.
Well, I think they have a lot of talented hockey players, guys that can really dangle with it, and you know, that's the style that they're used to playing, and you know, they don't import a lot of guys into the NHL that are real grinder types, and I think that's an advantage we have. But I think right through the rest of the tournament, Sweden's got some hard workers on their teams, and the Czechs showed us that they had some great workers, and obviously the Russians, and so I think the Finns might be lacking that, but I don't think throughout the rest of the tournament that we're going to see a whole lot of that.
I thought your goal was a rather large one for Canada, because after the quick start, when you had a 2-0 lead, 4.5 minutes into the hockey game, Finland seemed to get over their awe of Team Canada. They started to play better. They, in fact, had some good chances early in the second period, and then the quick turnaround, your goal, maybe you can tell us about it. Just take a look over here. We should be able to show the folks.
Well, the puck, they're trying to clear it around, and I think the play was really made by Larry Murphy here. Not only does he keep the puck in under pressure here, but he feeds it right on my stick, and I just get it and just put it right along the ice on the short side, and fortunately didn't get that leg out quick enough, and one for me.
That was the goal that made it 3-0 for Canada, and I guess you were in control from then on. Why weren't you going the other way on the turnover? Were you going the wrong direction?
Well, I think the puck was going around, and I kind of saw that Larry had a pretty good opportunity to get it, and just wanted to drive for the net. I think that's where I pick up most of my good opportunities, and I was playing with Mark Messier and B.Sаттer at that time, so two pretty good defensive players. So when you get that kind of opportunity, you got to go for it, and fortunately it worked out for me.
Mike Keenan was telling us before the game that if the Philadelphia Flyers, his team in the NHL, has a good game, the Flyers only give up what they rate as 8 or 9 good scoring opportunities. He thought they were in the mid-20s the Czechs had against Team Canada, and he said it was the forwards problem. We have to get the forwards to come back and fulfill more defensive responsibilities. Was that the case tonight? Was everyone doing that?
I think tonight we were better, but I don't think it's so much coming back. It's just picking up that late guy. You don't even need to come back, because what happens, they bring the 2 guys right at you, and it's a 2-on-2 situation, but then it's that 3rd guy and even that 4th and 5th guy that are coming up late, and those are the guys you got to watch against the European teams, because they usually end up with the best scoring opportunities. So it's not only coming back, it's just watching what's over your shoulder.
Wednesday night, Team USA, you really think it'll be a North American style game? We haven't seen a lot of physical activity from Canada in 2 games against Czechs or Finns. You think there'll be a little more crashing and banging?
No question. You know,
these are guys you know pretty well,
absolutely, all NHL players and some great hockey players out there, and that's just what's going to happen. I think the Americans have a lot of pride, and when they come up for the big games, they always play big, and I think against the Canadians there's a bit of a rivalry there, and we plan on going out and winning on home turf.
And there's no question that if Johnny B. Good gets hot, he's a tough kid to beat, isn't he?
No question, no question. He's a heck of a goaltender. I had his number a bit this year, but he is a heck of a goaltender, and they've got a real solid defense too. So we're going to have to be flying to win that game.
Kevin, congratulations.
Thanks, Sam.
Kevin Dineen, the Labatt star of the game, will be back with a little bit more. 4-1 the final count as Canada beats Finland. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
All those trips you made paid off. The AVCON people just called and gave us the project. Check your top drawer. There's one more trip I want you to take. Aloha, Brad, and thanks.
When you're something special, people know it.
Join us in our celebration of the very best. Join us looking to the future, showing you our pride.
At GM today, we're proud that the cars and trucks supplied for the Calgary 88 Olympic Winter Games will be built by the people of General Motors.
Searching, always searching for the best. Join us! Hey, join us! Join us!
There's heart in this land. It's there in all you do. It's time to call for the blue.
4-1, Canada beats Finland. That is the final score at the Cup-87 in Hamilton, Ontario. The first win of this tournament for Team Canada in its second match after opening play on Friday night in Calgary with a 4-4 tie against Czechoslovakia. Traditionally, Canadian teams' all-star aggregations have gotten better and better throughout international tournaments because the players come from all around the league, do not know each other's styles and quirks. Well, that seems to be the case that this club is coming together. Team USA might be in trouble on Wednesday night as we come back here in Hamilton, the Americans against the